Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're watching this transmission. It is I, Mike in the Night, here to join you. Company me. Sorry, Mike in the Night. The day today is, let's see what the date is today. It is the 21st of October, 2018. The 20th for where I'm at, and the 21st for most of the world. Anyways, what do we got in store for you guys tonight? I want to talk a little bit about, hold on, let me kick off some music. This is from Gemini King, Losing My Mind, instrumental, Hollywood 2018 montage. This guy's really good. He's a regular, comes out and hangs out with me at the shop a bit, and he makes his own music. Check this out. So he makes his own music. He's got one here where he's singing. That was the instrumental one. It's Gemini King. Guys, please check him out. He's, like I said, a regular at the shop. He, and I think this is the one with the actual lyrics in it. Yeah, is it? Gemini King. Yeah, baby. Gemini King. So he makes some good music.
Yeah.
So check out his channel, Gemini. He's going to make me an intro for Mike in the Night, and he's going to make me an intro for Trends in the Housing Market. So he's going to make me intros, and I'm going to help promote them and plug them once in a while on the channel. Owen in the house. Kevin Thompson is there, thank God. Owen, you ain't seen nothing yet. That's something you're not going to forget. That's right. And, yeah, Kevin Thompson, thank God he's here. Holy crap, I don't know what we do without his input. And, yeah, so maybe get this a little bit in the background here, you know. So, Gemini King, guys, in the house. He's going to be on the show. He's going to get Skype. Anyways, guys, so that's Gemini King. He's, like I said, he's going to be doing me an intro for Mike in the Night. And he's going to be doing an intro for Trends in the Housing Market. So we got a red pillar here for cryptocurrencies. He's going to give me, or he's going to give us a little bit of an insight on what's going on. His name is Augustine Santa Rosa. His English is rough. Spanish is rough. Kind of wish he spoke Spanish. Bitcoin expert here. Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hello? Well, no answer there. Hopefully he'll try to call me back. And that is Augustine Santa Rosa. I like to have him on the show. He is I'll try connecting with him again. Hold on a sec here. He is a Bitcoin analyst and expert. Hello? Hello? I got it cranked here, and we are not getting any audio on his side. Hello? No audio. That's weird. That's weird. He wanted to come on the show. He's got a red pill to drop. He wants my phone number. I don't even know my phone number because I never call myself, and I just changed it the other day. Kevin Thompson in the house too. I can't believe Kevin Thompson is Should be on the channel more often. You know what I'm saying? I hate using the phone because the quality sucks. Sometimes you get this weird feedback on the Sometimes you get this bizarre feedback return thing. At least on Skype you don't have that, and it's nice and clear. But phone sucks, man. Here we go.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yo, you're on. You're on the show. Augustine Santa Rosa, how are you?
Hey, buddy, how's it going? I'm good. Yourself?
You know how it is. You win some, you lose some.
That's it, man.
So what do you got for us tonight? What do you want to red pill?
We can talk about cryptocurrency. If you want to start with like a basic introduction or any questions you want to ask yourself as someone who's like looking from the outside in. But what I'd really like to talk about is just kind of how the whole crypto ecosystem and environment has been taken over by the bankers and all that over the last few years, because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on within the world of Bitcoin.
Okay, go ahead, kick that off. Let's start off with that.
Okay, so basically where we've started over the last couple of years, what happened was there's a company called Blockstream, and they managed to take over the main development of the Bitcoin client and where the roadmap for Bitcoin is going to go. So basically, like, what they're doing is they're directing the the development of Bitcoin and where everything's going, and they're trying to take the scaling. Like, there's a scaling issue with Bitcoin where basically in last December, when the market went really apeshit wild and everyone was sending thousands of transactions, the Bitcoin network couldn't handle it because it was just too much going on the network. And these guys, what they want to do is they're a for-profit company, and they basically want to take the transactions of Bitcoin off of the chain and put it into their side, like what they're calling Lightning Network, and then they just came out with this new thing called
sidechain solution.
Pardon?
I'm looking at the article here. Blockstream's liquid sidechain solution for Bitcoin network goes live.
Yeah, that's exactly it, the liquid sidechain. So they just released that, and that's basically for like the big players. The Lightning Network's what they want to pitch to the small guys, but the basically like what they're doing is they're just trying to capitalize on an open source software, and like for that liquid Bitcoin, they charge a monthly fee. So like even to use that and send your Bitcoin faster, you have to pay these guys a fee, which that goes against everything that Bitcoin was started with, where it should be low, cheap cash transactions, right? Bitcoin is it's supposed to be a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, which is the number one thing that everybody was talking about back 5 years ago when Bitcoin really got started. So the whole thing is with these side chains and even this liquid Bitcoin thing, what you're doing is you don't have an actual Bitcoin within the liquid network. What you have is called LBTC. So they're just basically giving you like a Bitcoin token, and then you can supposedly redeem it. But, it's going back to the thing of why would you have a central authority holding all the Bitcoin or, controlling it in that kind of manner when Bitcoin's supposed to be cryptographically secure, and like you're supposed to have your own Bitcoin within your wallet. And what's really gone on over the last couple of years is going back to August of 2017 there was a split within the network, and basically there was like two chains split off from one chain, and now there's Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. And a lot of the older people, like I see a lot of my friends that have been in this for 5 years, 10, well not 10, but 9 years, or like since the original days, like 2011, 2010. These guys are all starting to really wake up to just how corrupted it is. And what happens is the moment you suggest like a scaling solution of increasing the block size, which is what Bitcoin Cash did, and their network's working fine. Like I believe last time I checked, it was about 40, for every one Satoshi you would spend to send a Bitcoin Cash, it would be 43 times more on the Bitcoin network. So it's just more expensive to send. And what their argument is, of course, it's, they have some accuracy to it where they're saying like, less people will be able to host their own node. But the problem is with a Bitcoin node, like if you're not mining Bitcoin and you're just verifying transactions, like it doesn't matter if a miner wants to mess with transactions or send a transaction to the wrong place or like divert it, it's not going to matter whether you have a full node running or not. And what's really gone on in the whole Bitcoin world over the last year, what I've noticed is it's a lot of, how would you say, it's like a lot of name calling, and it's just gotten to such an ugly place where the system is just, it's so stupid. Like people are basically becoming useful idiots for propaganda.
Yeah.
Similar to how when Trump was getting I compare this Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash thing, and I'm not sure if either are the right way. Who knows? There might be another cryptocurrency that comes along and might be better than both of them. For instance, there's one that I really like. It's called Monero, and it's basically, it sticks a little bit more to the true aspect of Bitcoin, where you don't have these big mining farms controlling the network, where you can only mine Monero with a CPU. So you're basically you have one computer, a CPU at your home, you can mine Monero, and you can't do that with Bitcoin. Like your home computer, there's no way in hell you'll even mine a 0.00, like 1 Satoshi of a Bitcoin. There's nothing that's going to come from that. And basically, so like over the last year, I've just noticed a lot of, shilling campaigns. And if you go against the narrative of, we're going to scale off chain and we're going to do this Lightning Network and we're going to do liquid Bitcoin and all this, you get called names like, they call you a scammer or you're trying to scam people and all this. And it's just like, there's no argument to be had. Like people don't argue of why increasing the block size works. And especially with something like Moore's Law, where you have
liquid sidechain solution for Bitcoin network goes low.
Sorry, it was just playing some stream here for Bitcoin network. Continue.
No worries. So basically, like when you have Moore's Law and you take into account that, okay, if you increase the block size 2 times, you're going to have more data being stored on people's computers. So it is harder for people to store the actual blockchain and the record of transactions, which is important, very much so, because the more copies of the blockchain you have backed up around the world, the harder it is to take down. That's for sure.
Right. But basically, it's permanent. It's like a snake with 1,000 heads. You cut off one of its heads, it doesn't matter. It still comes up somewhere else, and it's permanent. You have to destroy every piece of technology on Earth and the satellites in space to remove it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like you'd have to go through almost every government agency in the world, raid every single person's house, the mining farms, all this, and remove the Bitcoin blockchain and software off of those computers and basically delete it. So it's very, very, that's why Bitcoin is successful in that way. But like I was saying, I just see that what happened over the last couple of years, it's really, really bad. Is just there's too much propaganda within the industry, and people are, there's too much infighting as well. That's the other thing. It's hard to succeed when you have, like, what I look at it is there's a lot of divide and conquer going on, but at the same time, like, when you see so much of the evidence point to, like, if you just follow the money within Blockstream and where they got their funding, it really makes you curious because, for instance, back in 2016, 2014 or 16, something like that, whenever they started up, they got a $55 million investment from AXA Strategic Ventures. Mm-hmm. And the CEO and chairman of AXA, his name is Henry de Castries. And if you go to Google and search chairman of the Bilderberg Group, that's the guy. So, like, you have basically Bilderbergers within, like, controlling the development for Bitcoin. And that really, really makes me sick that that's happening because, I don't trust the Bilderberg guys. Like, they only care about their bottom line, right? Bitcoin's a threat to these guys. So how better to take out a threat if you can't take it out by, like you said, it's a snake with many heads that you can't take out. Mm-hmm. So how better to do it than, get involved with taking over the development, basically strangling that snake and making it hard for transactions to go through. Because, for instance, like last December, when the market was really going crazy, like it cost, like I think I sent, I don't know, something like $2 or $3 grand, and it cost me about $50 in, like I think it was like 45 something within just fees, like just to have my transaction mined within a decent time. And if I tried to lower my fee, like I remember I was waiting a whole day for one of my transactions to even go through, which is just too slow. Like, how are you going to compete with Visa or PayPal or any of these things within that? So it's messed up, right? And yeah, like I was saying, basically Blockstream is connected to the Bilderberg Group, which is just, it really makes you question the whole cryptocurrency thing and where they're trying to go with it. And then on top of that, you have MasterCard, who invested into Digital Currency Group,
yep,
who then and then they invested into Blockstream. So if you look at MasterCard, their the board director of Digital Currency Group actually is a guy named Glenn Hutchins, and he's also the board director of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. So, like, it just really makes you wonder what's going on. And like I said, I'm not sure if Bitcoin Cash is the proper solution either, but as of right now, I see Bitcoin Cash being a lot more true to the original vision of what Bitcoin was supposed to be.
So, founder Satoshi Nakamoto, basically the founder of the Bitcoin, the original Bitcoin, right? It is trading at $8,444.40 Canadian dollars.
I don't look at cuck bucks. I look at US dollars.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like right now it's basically somewhere between six. Well, it depends where you're trading, but it's about between like 64.35.
Yeah, 64.35.89 United States dollar.
Yeah, exactly. And then on other exchanges, because there's a little bit of drama going on with this cryptocurrency called Tether. It's a stable coin that's supposed to be backed $1 to $1, which it is. Like, you can go on Bitfinex, the exchange that it trades on, and you can withdraw your Tether like 1-to-1. But because it trades on the open market and there's other markets, what's happened over the last couple of days actually even is there's been some rumors that a Rothschild, like, basically IMO, there's some Bitcoin wallet addresses of theirs and their trading bots that are starting to mess with Tether, because Tether is like the most liquid and the most traded stable coin, like the one that's $1 to $1 or supposed to be. Right now I think it's about like 97 cents or something like that, which is a little ridiculous. But basically what these guys are trying to do is they're trying to get regulated stable coins that aren't, you know, based in the Bahamas or the Seychelles Islands and are based within America. And there's a little bit of a scam going on there too, because some of these stable coins, they're written into the Ethereum blockchain and they can freeze accounts. Like, they can actually freeze your account. So it goes against what a lot of cryptocurrency is about, right? Like, you shouldn't be able to freeze someone's money. Like, when I've been transacting with Tether in the past, I've never had an issue of having to worry about my account being frozen or anything like that. Obviously, if you have it within an exchange and you get flagged for money laundering or terrorism or something like that, they will freeze your money, and that's for sure, which is why it's important to always, if you're holding and you're not trading your Bitcoin, you should always keep it on a wallet that's within your control, because basically when you're that's another, like, one of the powerful things about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency itself is when you have the coins in your control and they're on a wallet, like, it's basically you have a public key and a private key, and those are corresponding. Like, basically you think of the private key, it's like your password, and then your public key is your address. And basically it's cryptographically linked together, and that's what secures your money. That's why Bitcoin's so powerful. Like, for instance, I read a story the other day where people were escaping Venezuela, and, you know, they confiscate gold on the way out. Like, the government agents at the airport or the border or whatever, like, they're confiscating people's gold and stuff like that. But if you have Bitcoin and you have it on a private key that you own, like, you can, for instance, there's software that helps. Like, I think it's called the Electron Wallet, and basically if you have coins on there, you can get a 24 or 12 word seed phrase. So as long as you remember those 12 words, like, say it's, you know, apple, banana, orange, Blockstream, whatever, like, go on with your list of 12 words. And if you memorize the mnemonics of those 12 words into your head, nobody can confiscate that out of your brain, right? Like, it's so secure. And that's the beautiful thing about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But like I said, it's just lately, the last couple of years have been really, really crazy. And especially now, too, you have Bitcoin trading on the CME group and the CBOE. So you have Wall Street all with their hands all over this. And, for instance, like last year, before it started to trade on before the future started to trade, like it's so obvious what happened. And it sucks because a lot of people got burnt, right? Like there was people that were buying Bitcoin at 20,000, 19,000, 15,000. Now it's half that.
Yeah. So okay, hold on. So when did you buy in? Did you buy Bitcoin, and when did you buy in? Did you buy it in at the right time?
Well under $1,000.
Okay, good. So did you trade when it was at 20?
About 15.
Okay. So you got a little bit back out of it. Good.
Right. I'm doing all right.
Yeah. Okay.
And then like coins that you can kind of trade within too. That like it does, like even if Bitcoin goes down, but you're in a coin that let's say 2x's or 3x's, like you're still okay because you have more Bitcoin that you can then sell out for cash.
Right. Okay, I got an article open here. Bitcoin prices showing little upside as trade volumes approach yearly lows. So what's going on? This is from an article from this morning actually. What is going on? Is trading going low? Bitcoin is currently changing hands at 6,483 according to CoinMarket.c. Prices were little changed compared to previous session. BTC fluctuation range $50 range of most exchanges. Though what's Bitfinex?
Bitfinex is it's one of the oldest exchanges around. It's been here since 2013, and there's a lot of controversy going on with Bitfinex as well. Because the whole USDT thing, which is that stable coin we were talking about earlier,
yep.
There's a lot of people that don't like it and they see it as a threat to the ecosystem, which there is some truth to that because should one of their bank accounts be seized or raided, then, goodbye all your money. However, it's a solid coin, and every time what I've noticed is every time there's some sort of conspiracies or FUD being spread, like FUD, for anyone listening that doesn't know what that term is, it's just basically fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Mm-hmm. Anytime that's being spread about, Tether, Tether's not illiquid, they don't have all the money in their bank account because there was about 3 billion Tether in circulation, so $3 billion. Now, over the last couple of weeks, people have been cashing out, so I think it's gone down to about 2 billion. And every time people say, Tether's going to collapse, Tether's at the end, that's the time when you want to be selling into Tether or into actual fiat if you're trading on a regulated exchange like Coinbase or,
right.
Quadriga or whatever, wherever you are. But basically, yeah, like it's like it happened in January, December. There was the FUD around that was just so intense. And what I think is a lot of it is just a psyop to get people to stay within Bitcoin rather than, trading into a stable coin where they can preserve their money. Because, if you sold your Bitcoin into Tether at 20,000 or 15,000, you'd get 2x or almost 3x that amount of Bitcoin now, right?
Right,
and
right.
And Tether hasn't imploded. And that happened actually the other week. There was another scare where basically Bitfinex stopped allowing deposits, which is stupid because they were still you could still withdraw, you just couldn't deposit, like they were going through a bank switch. Mm-hmm. And basically everybody spread this rumors, it's over, Tether's gonna collapse, blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, what happened was Bitcoin went from, let me check the chart here I have in front of me, basically Bitcoin went from about 63.41 that day, mm-hmm. all the way up to 7,800 almost on some exchanges in USDT price.
Okay.
Which is just nuts. And then now, you look at it, you're already down 10 to 20% from that high. And what I call it was just a massive pump and dump. And it was very coordinated because you had some of these big, crypto, and I put quotation marks around this, influencers, because none of these people really, nobody knows. There's no influencer, there's maybe 3 people within the cryptocurrency space that I actually look up to personally, and I think everyone else is just full of shit and really doesn't know, because no one knows everything, right? So a lot of people just pretend like they're, I know Bitcoin and blockchain and all this better than you, but nobody knows better. Even myself, I don't know. I just know what I know and what I feel to be true in my heart, right? But
right.
So what happened was, yeah, it just like, you know, they spread this rumor again, and it went all the way up to 7,800, and now it's, you know, 6,300. Withdrawals and deposits are both working on Bitfinex. So it's just like, that's what I talk about when I say there's a lot of like, you know, psyops and basically.
I call it shadow trading or shadow buying.
Mm-hmm.
Pump and dumps. They do it in stocks. With the mafia, you know, with the mafia in New York, back in the mid and early to mid 80s, what they would do is they pump up stocks, like penny stocks. They pump them up with a lot of trades and buying, and then when they started to peak, they'd all dump their stock at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. It's the same thing. Like that's the thing that if anybody listening in your audience is to be warned about cryptocurrency is you got to watch out for the pump and dumps and, you know, the coins that are being shilled, because when it, like, to me, there's maybe a maximum of like 10 coins that even have a use. And if you look on CoinMarketCap, there's 2,100 coins or something like that are being traded today. And I would say 99% of them are going to die.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. For sure. Like, it's just like anything else. I want to ask you some basic questions, like very basic questions for people that are listening for the first time or people that don't understand too much about cryptocurrencies or want to know more about it. First question, is cryptocurrency too ahead of its time? I mean, is it going to be, it will be the future? I believe cryptocurrency will be the future. I think it will be the way we end up going. But I think we're right now in the pioneer stages of it still. I would say so, yes. Yes?
Like, I mean, we're definitely not early adopters, because there's people who have bought in Bitcoin at, you know, $30, $2, $1. There's people that got tens or hundreds of thousands of them for free just using a computer. So I wouldn't say we're necessarily in the pioneer stage or the early adopter, but we're like pre-use case. Like, at the end of the day, it's got a lot of media hype, and over the last year, like I was saying with the whole futures trading last year, like that was a big pump and dump, because you can tell that a lot of the money that came in was Wall Street insiders that knew, obviously, you know, like these guys, there's no doubt in my mind, they all knew that futures were coming and that people were going to start trading Bitcoin futures. So they took advantage of that news, like from about last September when China banned Bitcoin for the 5th time. These guys all started buying, and like you could see, like when you watch the trading, you can see, like when you see trading bots trade, there's a big difference between average trading bot that's programmed by some guy in his bedroom or a trading bot that's programmed by a Wall Street professional, you know, like with these algorithmic trades and all that. And you could just see it, like right from when Bitcoin hit about 4,500 all the way up to 7,000, then back down to 5,000, then back up to 10,000, then back down to 9, then up to 11, and back to 10, and whatever, all the way to that ride to 20,000. It was so obvious what was happening. It was a Wall Street pump and dump at that point. Like normally it's the crypto whales that pump and dump, but it was just like you could see that Wall Street was getting in, and obviously I'd say there's some crypto whales, like some people that probably had, you know, hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin that took advantage of that as well. But you could see that was just a massive pump and dump. And yeah, I would say we're definitely still early within cryptocurrency. Like when you look at something like Ethereum, the Ethereum blockchain, it promised to be, you know, Web 3.0. It would have social media networks that can't be censored on it and all this. And what happened last year was, you know, there was this app called CryptoKitties where you could basically, like, it's like digital Pokemon. It was the stupidest fucking thing in the world. Mm-hmm. And these guys basically, like, just the transaction volume over the first week of the mania of those CryptoKitty things, like, I think one sold for about $100,000, which was just insane as well. Like, someone's paying, you know, $100,000 for a digital cat, which is stupid. Mm-hmm. But it got like, that gave it, I guess, media hype. And what happened that week was like the Ethereum blockchain just grinded to a halt, and it was so slow, nobody could do anything. Like transactions were expensive, and it just ran so slow. And at that point, like, you know, I realized that, yeah, we're definitely still early. The technology itself is still early, and there has to be a lot done to scale the networks, which is why I'm invested in a certain coin called EOS, which is pretty fast. Like, I think they got up to about almost 4,000 transactions per second, which is the fastest blockchain out there.
EOS? How do you spell it? EAOS?
No, EOS.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's created by Dan Larimer, and this guy's been in Bitcoin since the early days, probably like about 2010. And he started. Have you ever gone on the site Steemit?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so he's the guy who created Steemit and the technology behind that. And if you ever use Steemit, like, it's pretty fast, and that's all on the blockchain, and it works because what they've done is they've basically changed the algorithm where you're not mining with a computer, but you're mining with your stake of tokens, or EOS itself is called delegated proof of stake. So basically, like, the network token holders are voting in who's actually producing the blocks on their computers. But yeah, like, this stuff is fast, and a lot of people, and it's the same thing. Like, I see where people say, oh, if you want to increase the block size, you get called a scammer, this and that. And, like, there's some arguments against EOS where you can say, oh, the block producers have too much control. And I believe there's some truth to that. But I've been transacting on EOS for now 3 months or 4 months or 5 months since it came out in June. And I haven't had an issue. Like, my money's still in my wallet. I haven't had anything taken out or any transactions canceled. And, like, it's peer-to-peer. And, like, I've played some games on it. And it, like, there's a game called Bet Dice, for instance. And they're doing more, like, this network's been around for basically, since June or July 1st, I think. And it's already faster than everything out there. And yeah, I would just say, like, once, more companies build, like, social medias and there's, like, a Facebook on EOS or whatever, I could be wrong. Like, there could be a coin that comes out tomorrow or the next day that takes over this thing. And it's just, it's an ever-evolving world. So you got to never, like, the one thing I always say to people is, like, don't get emotionally attached to whatever shit coin you're in, because, tomorrow your coin could be crappy. Like, it could be no longer the hot new thing, or the technology might not even be there anymore. And it's just like investing in stocks, right? Like, you never get too emotionally attached to your stock. Like, when it's time to sell, you sell, and you just don't look back at it. So it's the same thing. And what happens is, like, people, they get so stuck in their tribalism and their mentality of being stuck to one coin, that definitely creates a lot of tensions within the market too, where people are like, if you promote anything other than my favorite coin, you're a scammer. But no, like, if it should be where if you promote something else or you promote another coin, you should listen to that person and see, okay, well, what's your technology? How fast are you? Yeah. Is it secure? Like, why are we just getting into this, like, grade school mentality of name calling and being idiots?
Oh, it's the leftists that are doing that in the States. Oh, so the rest of the world is applying itself to it. Okay, I got something here. EOS, the protocol emulates most of its attributes to the real computing, including hardware, CPU, GPU, for processing, local RAM, memory, hard disk storage, with computing resources disrupted equally among EOS cryptocurrency holders. EOSIO operates smart contract platform and decentralizing operation system intended for deployment of an industrial scale, decentralized applications through decentralized autonomous corporation model. The smart contract platform claims to eliminate the transaction fees and also conduct millions of transactions per second.
So yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, as of right now, the million transaction per second thing, it's not been tested, so we can't say for sure that it's gonna do 1 million transactions per second. Excuse me. Okay. I believe it will. Like, I believe it probably will one of these days, but it hasn't done that yet. And until we see actual usage of the network and that happen, until then we have to remain skeptical. But like I said, they've reached 4,000 transactions per second, which is the fastest of any cryptocurrency out there. Like, there's nothing that can compete. I don't even know what Ethereum is. I think it's like 14 transactions per second. It's really low. Mm-hmm. And if you look, there's a site called blocktivity.info, and basically, like EOS, it's the #1 blockchain within usage. Like for instance, today EOS has 3.5 million transactions. BitShares has 2 million. Steam has 818,000. Bitcoin has 523,000, and then the number 5 Ethereum has 520,000. So you're almost at a 10x of usage in a few months of EOS being out. And granted, a lot of this usage right now, like it's just this one popular app that came out that's called BetDice, and it's just gambling. And because there's a lot of the Chinese community within EOS, like, those guys love to gamble. So that's what's happening right now is there's a lot of gambling on it. And there isn't really much actual use case, which is sad because it runs so fast and smoothly. But one day we'll get there, right? So, but, even like these gambling things, I'm not mad about it. I don't gamble, but I think it's great because it tests the network, tests the durability, the reliability of it. And, it really pushes the limits. And yeah, it's just like, in my opinion, EOS will be the #2 coin or the #3 coin very shortly, because once, like, I'm almost convinced that in order for the crypto market to like really thrive again, is we're almost going to have to get something like, because what happened early March of last year was Ethereum was the hot coin and was the hype coin, and you had this thing called the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, and basically these guys came in and it was another Wall Street pump where basically, JP Morgan's partnering with Ethereum, the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, all these other big corporations, Microsoft, whatever. Like, you can go on their website, Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, and it wasn't even Bitcoin that started the last bull run. It was Ethereum. So I feel like once people wake up and start building on EOS or whatever, maybe it might be another blockchain, because there's a lot of competitors out there right now. But once another thing like this happens, I believe we'll finally get back into a bull market. But as of right now, I probably wouldn't really suggest anyone to buy into cryptocurrency, because the trading is just, like you said earlier, you pulled up that article and the volume is so low. Like, for instance, on Coinbase, GDAX, like, it's the main fiat entry for people. Like, all the people who are new to cryptocurrency generally have to go through Coinbase to get their first bit of Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin. And like today, there's only been 3,600 Bitcoin traded in the last 24 hours, which is just ridiculously low. And then, like, you have Binance, which is traded. It's also very low. Like, I think they're at, what are they at right now for trading volume? It's very low, though. It's not much. It's, what is it? Hold on. It's something like 130 million. But the thing is, Binance is overrun with trading. No, it's not even 130 million. It was 130 million earlier today. Now it's at 97 million, which, like, in US dollar terms, that's not a whole lot, especially for Binance. Like, there's been days where these guys trade 200 mil plus, 300 mil. Like, when the market's really good, it can trade 500 million in a day. And right now it's at 97, and we can't even be sure that that's all, natural trading, because, like I said, this exchange, it's overrun with trading bots and wash trading and spoof trading.
Yeah, wash trading is bad too, and shadow trading. So, guys, I got the website open. It's called Blocktivity, the real value of blockchains and blockchain activity matrix. This is what it looks like, guys, if you want to go to the website. And it's got the name here: activity average, record market cap, AVI, and CUI. So you got it right here. EOS is #1 with activity of 3,488,587, followed by BTS, then Steam, then Bitcoin, BTC, Ethereum in 5th, Waves in 6th, KMD. So when someone's looking at this chart, I mean, what does somebody look at when they want to buy a Bitcoin? Do they look at the price, affordability? Do they look at volatility? Do they look at liquidity? What are they looking at? Because I've never bought a Bitcoin. I mean, I've had some Bitcoins way back in the day. It's a long story. I had 9 of them. And,
oh, God.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you lost them.
No, I cashed them in. I cashed them in when it was all over the news, when they reached around $21,000 or $20,000. I went nuts. But I found it, and I remember the password.
Nice.
It's a long.
When someone's looking to buy Bitcoin, I mean, what's your risk? What's your goal with Bitcoin? Are you like, you know what I mean? Like I said, right now, I wouldn't consider this a good time to buy.
Right.
Because the market, in my opinion, still hasn't bottomed out. Like, I truly believe that Bitcoin needs to go under 6,000 and well under 6,000. Like, maybe, you know, somewhere between the 3,000 and 5,000 range to truly bottom out and, you know, shake out all the weak hands, all the people that just don't believe in Bitcoin or whatever. Personally, I'm not buying much Bitcoin anymore. Like, I have more interest in Bitcoin Cash and EOS. But, like, you know, obviously, Bitcoin's still the main number one currency, so it leads the market. And whatever Bitcoin does, the rest of the market follows. So when you're buying Bitcoin, like, if you're a trader, I mean, there's really never a bad time to buy because the market's so volatile. Like, for instance, EOS is up, you know, about 2% in the last 24 hours, and at one point it was at about up 4%. So if you're trading this stuff, like, it's 1,000 times better than anything you'll find within stock markets. Like, you know, there's days you can just double your money within a couple hours.
So I'm looking at it here. The value is sitting at roughly 545 or 5-ish there, mid fives there for EOS. Yeah, that's in US dollars. Yeah, and then I'm looking here. Not too long ago, it was at 664, 619, 572. So you're right about that. You could buy and sell probably 4 times in one day if you really wanted to.
Oh, absolutely. Like, if you're a trader, this market is the perfect place for you. But if you're the average investor and you don't do your research, or you're just like, you know, the whole thing about Bitcoin was, for the last couple of years, it was like, you know, hodl, hold on for dear life is the meme that people spread. But at this point, like, that meme is dead. It's basically gotten to the point where you hodl, you're going to get wrecked if you're not, you know, careful. Because especially, you know, the people, like, how did hodling work out if you got in at 20,000 and it's just like, oh, just hodl, it'll go up higher. Well, right now you're down, you know, well over 60-70% of your money down. So it just really depends. And, like, what's your risk limit? What's your goal? Like, do you believe Bitcoin will go higher than 20,000 again? Do you believe it'll go higher than 10,000 again? Like, what's your end goal with Bitcoin?
What about the McAfee guy said it's going to go over $1 million?
He might be right in the long term, but we're so far away from that. Like, I think it's just he's a pump and dumper. Like, if you followed his Twitter last December when the market was going wild, like, he did a shit coin of the day. Like, every day he would promote, you know, X coin, Y coin, B coin. Like, he's a pump and dumper. I don't really respect the guy. I think he's a little off his rocker. Like, he's nuts. He says some things that are right, but he's definitely, like, in that whole category of what I'd call a pump and dumper for sure. Because I don't know. Like, I mean, it's possible when you look at the market cap of Bitcoin versus the market cap of gold or versus traditional assets. Like, there's room for it to go to 100,000 or $1 million. Sure, but we're so far away from that. The thing is, Mike, what you need for Bitcoin to really succeed is adoption. Like, nobody's using this other than to speculate on exchanges and trade. Like, right now, the majority of the volume and the transactions on Bitcoin are just people sending from exchange A to exchange B or from one wallet to another wallet. Like, there's really not much buying or purchasing happening with Bitcoin. Like, when Amazon starts to accept Bitcoin, when, you know, you can pay for your coffee at Starbucks at Bitcoin, when you can go to Walmart, pay for your Walmart bill with Bitcoin, sure, maybe we'll start getting up to those prices. But until then, it's just not going to happen. And like I said, like, you can't use Bitcoin as money yet, like, because, well, like, right now the network, it's not overly congested, so it's relatively cheap. Like, you can send, you know, for probably under $1 right now. But if it was to get congested like it was in December, nobody in their right mind is going to spend $20 for $100 bill of fees, right? Like, you just, at that point, you're definitely better off using something like a credit card, which is also something I'd like to bring up on the whole block stream and, like, the core community of Bitcoin. Like, here, I'll just quote you a few tweets and say, like, quotes from people that, you know, are heavily into like either Bitcoin developers or like the CEO of Blockstream. So here's a couple things. Like this just shows you the intent of the people that are currently in the market, and which is why I'm very skeptical about Bitcoin at this point, and I'm more in the Bitcoin Cash camp, or just, you know, actual fiat, or, you know, trading it and just using it as a speculative vehicle rather than actually holding it for the future, because I believe it's going to turn into something massive. Like, for instance, you have Greg Maxwell, who's a developer. He said, credit cards give you a 2% to 3% cash back, super consumer friendly, anti-fraud, virtually no questions asked about fraud reversals, plus things like prices rollback, and you don't get forced to do business with crappy Bitcoin payment processors. So you have another developer, Jimmy Song, who says, spend your credit card with no debt on it, and when your credit card bill comes, just sell enough Bitcoin to pay the bill. So, like, you have these core people within the Bitcoin community that don't even want to use this shit as cash, which is just, it's asinine to me. I don't understand. Here we have Adam Back, who is the CEO of Blockstream. He's like, you could have some Bitcoin businesses have a tab, so you pay them and you work your tab there, and presumably you can cash your tab out if you don't use it. If you make if you have a repeat custom, maybe the shops in the local area could make a tab or something. So like this guy wants you to, you know, start a tab and just kind of not really do your transactions every time you need to do a transaction because of the cost of it, which is just, like I said, to me it's ridiculous. You have another guy, Brian Bishop, use credit cards to pay for your meal instead of Bitcoin. Luke Dash, then just use fiat. Pretty sure they'll charge more than 0.5% for the same service. You have Charlie Lee, who's the developer of Litecoin, but he's also invested within Lightning Labs, which is like basically the scaling solution that Blockstream is trying to propose. And he's not really forcing the credit card thing too much, but he's like, for day-to-day transactions, fiat is still easier, which is true. It's still easier, but if we want Bitcoin to really succeed, like, we need to use this as a cash system, because it's cryptocurrency, not crypto store of value or crypto gold. It's cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. You have another Blockstream guy, Samson Mao. So 30 to 40 minutes and a $2 to $3 transaction fee may not compete with credit card payment for your coffee, but it doesn't need to. Saying credit cards are cheaper and better than Bitcoin used as a currency, you know? So like this guy just, you have a very corrupted community where these people are buying into this propaganda of like, you know, I think there was one that really made me sick, and like I don't remember who tweeted about it or who said it, but basically someone's like, so how are people in the third world gonna, you know, use Bitcoin as a currency? And the guy's like, Bitcoin's not for people, not for third world country people, which is like, you know, that's dirty, man. Like, come on, like Bitcoin's for everybody.
Oh, you know, yeah, for sure. Bitcoin should be an open source, and that's what it is, and that was originally what it was made for. It was basically to piss off, well, just to kind of pee off the banks a bit, right? And pee off the middleman and pee off everybody, right? But then now
Absolutely. Like it's basically like, and not only that, it's deflationary, so there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin or 21 million Bitcoin Cash. And that, in my opinion, is the most powerful thing about it, is because you can't have someone like the Federal Reserve or the Bank of Canada come in and say, okay, well, inflation was 1% this year, so we need to, you know, print out 1% more Bitcoin or 5% more Bitcoin or whatever. Yeah. These guys print money anymore, and that's the biggest fuck you about cryptocurrency. Is your
watch the F-bombs. Watch the F-bombs. I don't want to get flagged.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forget. It's just habit. Yeah, but basically, you know what I mean? Like you basically, like, it's the biggest screw you to the central banks, not even just the regular banks. And on top of that, yeah, it is a big FU to the regular banks as well, because you don't have to go through SWIFT or through any of these things. Like if you want to send, you know, how long does it take? Does your wife send money back to her family in the Philippines?
Sometimes, yeah.
And how long does that process generally take?
You know what? I don't know. I think it just takes a couple of minutes. She goes up to the Western Union or whatever it is at the Walmart, tells them the money, and I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
But generally, if you do that through a bank or something, it takes a couple of days. Like, it's not instant, right?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, with Bitcoin, like, say I have family back in Russia or wherever, you know, and I send it to them and, you know, say, oh, you want $100? I'm going to send you $100.
Yeah.
With Bitcoin, it takes about, within seconds, the money is there, but then it takes 2 confirmations, because what Bitcoin does is you have to confirm the transaction on the blockchain through the miners. So it takes about seconds for them to see, oh, I got $100 in my wallet, and then they can spend it after 30 minutes. And that's another thing that why I really like Bitcoin Cash, is because they reinstated something called zero confirmation transactions, which means even if it's not confirmed on the blockchain, you can spend that, like, that money's yours and it's there to spend already faster. And that was how Bitcoin was originally, but these guys, you know, they basically took it out. And yeah, I just think there's a lot of, like, propaganda and just nonsense going on in the Bitcoin. And going back to what you said earlier, even the whole leftist thing, like, there's people, like, I've seen stupid people pushing, like, excuse me, we need more women in blockchain. We need more, you know, girls getting involved with coding for blockchain. And it's like, well, how do you know they're not already here? Blockchain's anonymous. Like, do you know
that's just Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie's an animal, so it doesn't really matter. Everything that you know, Rosie's always on. I don't know if you saw her on Fox the other day, just trashing this and trashing that and trashing Trump. It's like, it's so the whole leftist thing. It's not even that. Okay, can I say something?
Absolutely.
What about Faith Goldie in Toronto? If she's running for mayor of Toronto, and voting is on the 21st of October of this month, of this week, and they're black shadow banning her and not allowing her to advertise, and she's completely blacklisted from everything. Why? Because she leans to the right. Oh, whatever happened to having more women in politics?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the exact same thing. It's like, they only want more women within something if it's beneficial to their advantage. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, absolutely, I hear you there. Like, that's the same principle, right? But like I said, within Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, it's supposed to be not, like, Bitcoin's not anonymous. It's pseudo-anonymous. So, like, if you bought, let's say, your Bitcoin on a regulated exchange like Coinbase, your ID and everything's there, so your Bitcoin address is linked to that.
Right.
But it is pseudo-anonymous, where if someone looks up your address that doesn't have any affiliation to Coinbase or to whoever you bought your Bitcoin from, like, they don't know who you are. There's just an address. There's no name Mike Martin's there on the address. And that's one of the other powerful things about cryptocurrencies, is private. And that's why I like the cryptocurrency called Monero.
Yes,
because
Monero,
that one
yeah.
is absolutely 100% private. Like, for instance, there was, you know, a seizure of cryptocurrency from some deep website, and in the article, like, they basically got, like, the guy's computer, but I don't think they got his Monero, because they didn't even know how much. Like, you need the private key in order to actually know how much they seized. And they basically said they seized, like, you know, 200,000 Bitcoin, so-and-so Ethereum, and then it's funny because it's, like, an unknown amount of Monero. So Monero is good in that sense, where there is a blockchain, but there's no public ledger. Like, you need to see the spend key, and you need to have either the spend key or the private key to actually see what's within an address. So, like, you know, I could have $1 million on a Monero wallet, and nobody's gonna even know I have how much I have. Like, it could be $1 or 10 million, and nobody knows. And that's why I like that cryptocurrency called Monero. It's pretty good.
Do you see criminals using it, like huge drug cartels and stuff, instead of moving huge amounts of cash around, like carloads of cash?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna see criminals and terrorists and all this shit all these people using it too. But there was a study that came out recently, and I believe at this point in time that we're in, like, like you said, we're still in the early kind of pioneer stage of cryptocurrency. Like, there was more people using, more drug cartels, more money laundering being done through U.S. dollars than through Bitcoin.
Okay,
so it's like,
I got an article here. Bitcoin and blockchain jobs in the U.S. are surging. The U.S. job boom, which saw a record 7.14 million unfilled positions in August, coupled with last year's Bitcoin mania, has resulted in 300% increase in the number of jobs related to Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchain over the last 12 months, according to the new research from job site Glassdoor. As of August 2018, there were 1,775 Bitcoin and blockchain-related job openings in the U.S., up from 693 from the beginning of the year and 446 at this time last year. Despite the Bitcoin and wider cryptocurrency market struggling throughout the year, it would seem from job openings that both establishment and startup companies are taking the possibilities of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain seriously. So that's good. They're taking it seriously, and it looks like there's more and more jobs being available right now. A lot of jobs, actually. The job market seems primed to continue its rapid growth into the future, the report says.
Oh, absolutely. Like, if I was to give any, developer advice right now, I would say, of all the programming languages, learn C++ and start learning how to develop on EOS, because my opinion, and I just feel like it's going to happen within the next year or two. It's already happening, but within about a year, there's going to be a huge demand of people that know EOS and know the blockchain and that know C++, the programming language, and how to actually, develop smart contracts for EOS. And these guys just released some, they have lots of developer documentation, and so it's easy to learn. It's not like you got to go and, learn something that's not learnable or there's no information. That's what the company Block One that released the EOS software. They did a good job of giving out a lot of developer information, documents, and they just put out a game the other day. It's some stupid, you play a game and you basically learn how to develop for EOS at the same time. So, or at the other end of the day, I'm not very bullish on Ethereum. I think Ethereum has a lot of issues. But even learning a programming language like Solidity, I think that would help too, because if say you're a developer and you manage to learn, 2 or 3 blockchain languages, you're in a really good spot for the future.
Yeah.
And it goes way beyond developers, but in my opinion, the developers are the most valuable. But I think marketing, there's going to be every blockchain company or whatever, even though, like I said, 99% of them are scams or gonna fail and they'll just go out of business or the coin will go to zero or whatever. If you have these skills and you can help, I think where a lot of the big blockchain jobs will come in the future is just helping, Microsoft or whatever big company, Amazon, to develop their internal systems to connect with blockchains, or just, even consulting, stuff like that. The options are endless, but marketing, everybody can get a job within blockchain. No matter lawyers, for instance, there's the lawyers are laughing with this stuff because every company that does an ICO, they have to go get consultation on what can we do, what's legal, we need a contract, we need this. And even today I saw an article, Floyd Mayweather and DJ Khaled are getting sued. So there's on both ends, for the companies and against them. It's definitely bringing a lot of jobs and stimulus to the economy. But like I said, we're still in the stage where none of this stuff's being used. Even EOS with its 3 million transactions a day, that ain't really a lot, man. It's how many operations would Facebook do on a regular day? How many, I would assume there's way over 1 billion people clicking clicking share every day, right? So until we get to those points, the cryptocurrency market's still in its infancy. And like I said, right now with the trading volume so low, for instance, Bitfinex, this is an exchange that doesn't do too much wash trading, and that's why I kind of like these guys. Right now, Bitcoin has $31 million in 24-hour volume. Granted, it's the weekend, and not a lot of people trade on the weekend. That is extremely low. I haven't seen it this low all year, or probably since last year when nobody even gave a shit about. Sorry for language. When nobody gave 2 craps about Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of this stuff. And EOS right now has 10 million in volume, which is extremely low. EOS at the peak back in May, like when it was really getting its hype, like it was doing like 100 million a day, 80 million a day. Bitcoin was doing 300, 200 million, 100 million maybe some days when it was lower, but $31 million to be traded in 24 hours for Bitcoin, like that's extremely low. And that's why I wouldn't suggest anybody to be loading the boat and going all in yet. Granted, the markets are down a lot from the peak. I would say it's not the time to be like,
could it
selling.
Could it be a correction?
Oh, it is a correction. Absolutely. It's a correction. Like, it's not, like, don't get me wrong. Bitcoin's not dead and it's not a scam, and like the cryptocurrency market's not going away anytime soon. It's not like the doomers will say, but it's definitely a correction. The biggest concern for me right now is the Bitcoin to US dollar monthly chart. Like, the most basic indicator for traders is the MACD. And this, like, on the monthly level, it just looks awful. Like, it's the MACD's way negative, and it's going down every month. And that's why I say I really think, like, we're getting to a point where we're going to need to hit somewhere like 3,000 to 5,000 before the market can go up again. Or maybe we'll just do what we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 months and trade from 6,000 to 7,000 while that indicator resets as well, and like some of the other charts get, because anything that goes from $1,000 to $20,000 in a year, like, that's extremely oversold. And yeah. Bitcoin is one of those assets that can be overbought. I mean, not oversold, but like Bitcoin's one of those assets that can get extremely overbought. And then on the flip side, crashing down now, like, it can become extremely oversold. So,
question.
Like I said, anyone looking to buy, like, it's not the time to be going all in. It's the time to maybe buy a bit here, wait a month, see where the price is, buy again. If you're a trader, you know when to buy. Like, you know when to buy, you know when to sell. You don't need my advice. But if you're the average person looking to get started with this kind of stuff, I would say just start averaging your price in and don't go all in at once, because that's the stupidest thing you can do. And sorry, you had a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Very important one. Is demand for Bitcoin mining in decline? Chip maker slashes target.
Yeah, I'd say that. Well, definitely. The thing is, I wouldn't even say the demand's down, because if you look at if you go on your computer right now, I'm sure you have it in front of you with your audience. Just search Bitcoin hash rate chart.
Mm-hmm.
And if you find that, like, you'll see that the amount of miners on the network, even with Bitcoin crashing from 20,000 to 2,000, it's gone up a lot. So I wouldn't say that, there's much less sales. And if you're talking graphic cards and people that are mining Ethereum, which is mined with graphic cards like AMD, NVIDIA, and all those guys, like, they've definitely seen a hit on their sales. But I wouldn't say Bitcoin mining itself is anywhere near, like, out of demand. Like, there's more power on the network than ever. Although there is the conspiracies too, where, like, some people will say, like, perhaps somebody just developed a new chip for mining that's not publicly available, and they're just mining this stuff in secret.
I have something here. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, the world's largest dedicated independent chip maker, has predicted a drop in demand from cryptocurrency mining community in the fourth quarter of this year. The growth targeted to 7 to 9% was slashed to 6.5%, partially due to the demand of dynamics of Bitcoin miners. Crypto mining demand for TSMC chips to weaken further in Q4 sales 2018, says CEO.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of given. But like I said, like, there could be a company out there or a group or an organization of people that created because there's new chips coming out all the time. And especially in the Bitcoin market, what, like, a lot of companies will do, especially, like, I've heard this happen with Bitmain a few times, like, they'll release a miner, but only release it, like, months or maybe even years after they've been using that miner themselves, because it's more profitable to use your own miner in some cases rather than to sell the chips or sell the miner. Like, if you have this breakthrough and say you're getting 10x more Bitcoin than the current technology, why would you sell that, right? Like it's almost stupid in that
So
sense.
You think people would be hoarding technology if it's doing better than what's on the market now? Do you think that's happening? Like secret
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I believe that for sure, because like I said, like if you look at that Bitcoin hash rate chart, it's gone parabolic. Like there's a lot of power on the network right now, and it's really interesting. Like I said, it's an interesting dynamic. So the whole market is just like, it's in a weird place. Like I don't think we're gonna see much action probably till like maybe March 2019. Until then, we'll probably just go sideways or go down.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Nobody knows the future either. But that's just if I had to guess, right? After being in this market for so long. Like it's like how I was saying earlier, it can be extremely overbought. At the same time, it can be extremely oversold. Like for me, my buy sign is going to be when the weekly RSI gets down to like, you know, the 13 to 20 range, something like that, which is what happened in about 2015 before we started this last run up from 2015 to now. Mm-hmm. So I think still got a lot, not monthly, sorry, that's the weekly chart I'm thinking of that needs to go down to about that low. The monthly might still be higher, but like I said, we're in a point where it's just, I would never give the advice to someone, go all into Bitcoin now. And here's the other kicker, why I think Bitcoin could do really, like price action wise, really bad over the next little while, is because everyone says, oh, Bitcoin's a great store of value for when the economy's crashing, you know, this and that.
Yeah.
But if you look historically, 2008, when the stock market crashed, gold went right with it. It wasn't only until after the market kind of bottomed that gold way outperformed the stock market until 2013. Mm-hmm. But it didn't do like anything exceptional. And, you know, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, they're not gold. Like what I would lump these things into right now is technology. Like it's a technology. And what does the worst in recessions or depressions? Technology.
Technology, .com sectors and all that crap.
Speculative stuff, right?
Yeah.
Speculative investments do the worst. So Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, like the whole market, everyone's saying, oh, crypto will be fine if the stock market goes down. But like I think that's just a meme at this point. Like I don't believe that it's going to prove that out. Granted, in the long run, there's no chance for a bailout or for like anything to come to Bitcoin where they can just print in more funny money. So Bitcoin it's decent in that regard, where like long term, one of these cryptocurrencies will win. I believe it's going to be Bitcoin Cash over Bitcoin in the long run once more people wake up. But that's just my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. And I truly do believe like there's future within cryptocurrencies, absolutely. But it's just now's not the time to be, you know, going all in or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. But anyway, we've been on the phone for an hour, so I'm going to let some of your other guests have some time, man.
Anyways, so the guys, this is Augustine Santa Rosa, and I want to thank you very much for giving us some more insight. I'd like for you to become a regular, to call in maybe once every couple of, maybe I could have you like with I don't know, maybe a 3 to 5 minute spot on intermittently on shows, just to come in and tell us where Bitcoin's at, where it's going, who is trading, what to look at. You know, give us a 3 minute or a 5 minute plug on where Bitcoin is at. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah, we could do that for sure. And like, I got lots of things on my mind, man. Like, you know, when it comes to politics, conspiracies, all this stuff, like, it's just, we live in interesting times. Like, there's a lot of weird shit going on. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, you know, here's one that's just been boggling my mind for about a month now. Is there was something that happened in Antarctica where you're getting cosmic rays coming out of the ground in Antarctica. So, like, what's going on in this world? I
have a friend that's in Antarctica right now, and I'm gonna I'll ask him about that and see if I could get him on my show. Well, what's happening? What do I ask him? Cosmic rays from Antarctica coming from this?
Yeah, like, I don't know, scientists discovered that there's cosmic rays which aren't supposed to come out of the earth, out of the ground, coming up out of, you know, Antarctica. So it's just weird. And then you have like all this other stuff, you know, multiple satellites in the sky have been taken offline. There was a solar observatory in the States that got raided by the FBI not too long ago, and like they gave a really BS excuse on what happened. And it's just like there's so much going on in this world that like you really wonder what the hell is going on sometimes.
Yeah,
but we'll leave that for another day.
Yeah, we'll do something for sure. But I want you to plug cryptocurrencies. I'll have one guy come on for God knows what, and then you come on. Okay, so we got Augustine here, and he's going to give us a crypto plug. What's going on in the crypto markets? And then you have a 3 to 5 minute spiel, and what to look out for, what not to look for, what to buy. If you're holding, hold now, don't sell, and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? But you could come on the show for, if you want to talk about HARP, if you want to talk about Antarctica, if you want to talk anything you want to talk about or have experience with or find strange in the media, to get our listeners and people commenting in the comment section involved. I think that'd be great.
Oh, absolutely, man. Anyway, have a great night, eh?
You too, Augustine. God bless.
Take care, buddy. God bless you too.
Okay, bye. So that's that. Augustine Santa Rosa in the crypto markets for quite a bit of time now. And he's a really, really, really good person when it comes to information for this. And, guys, don't forget to check out Gemini King. I've been playing his music earlier today for you guys at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Gemini. Twists and turns around every corner in my brain as I live this horror.
That's Gemini King, people. He's going to make me an intro song for Mike in the Night, and he's going to make me an intro song for Trends in the Housing Market. There it is, Gemini King. There's his channel right there, people. Check out his music. Check out what he's got going on. He's got a lot of good songs here. He's got a lot going on. Video games and stuff. And look at that. I'm in his liked videos. Look at that. Wow. There you go. That's a true subscriber right there. When you see your video in his liked videos. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. Let's do this. There's one thing that's severely concerning me. It's the Canadian brain drain. We're losing a lot of our educated. Whether it's doctors, whether it's engineers, whether it's fabricators, whether it's inventors. We're losing everything to the United States of America. Housing's 80% cheaper in some states than what you're paying in the major cities here in Canada. Pay is higher. Some states are work-free states where you don't get taxed as much or taxed anywhere near what you get taxed in Canada. It is scary that we are losing a lot of our brain drain. I know Australia is losing a lot of its brain drain to the United States. I know that New Zealand is losing a lot of its brain drain to Australia. So New Zealand is losing its brain drain to Australia. And the UK is losing its brain drain to Australia and the United States. And Canada is losing most of its brain drain. Like most of everybody that's leaving is making their way down to the United States of America. So everybody is here in the comment section. And yeah, I'm liking this. Someone saying that the reason why the caravan from Mexico wants to come here is to invade. No, they're not going to invade Canada. Gemini King's in the comment section. Thanks, Mike. You're the man. Guys, please subscribe to his channel. Let's get him up to 200 subs tonight. He's at 172 subs. Gemini King topic. Please subscribe. Let's get him to 200. He's been working so hard on this channel for the last, I don't know, couple of years now. And we need to get him up to 200, guys. If you guys like my channel, and if you guys obviously like my channel because you're watching it, let's get Gemini. Let's get Gemini to 200 subs tonight, guys, please. I'm not asking you guys to change water into wine. I'm just asking you to, click the subscribe button. So, okay. So the brain drain. I wonder if Steve, Come on the show and tell us what's going on with the brain drain. I don't see Evan in the comments, so I'm not sure if Evan's going to be on the show tonight or Evan is our truth analyst for our channel. He's in Hong Kong right now. So yeah, living the dream is in the comment section. Kevin Thompson, not Steve again. So someone's saying, I mean, they want to cross into Canada after crossing into America. I don't know. Is the immigration train or making its way to? It's all, you know how many people cross borders every day? They're just washing the media with it. They're making it seem, you know what I'm saying? And then you got Rosie on there, Rosie O'Donnell. It's like, it's just like, come on, man. So is Kevin Thompson going to call in? Kevin, are you going to call in, buddy, tonight, or what's going on? Kevin Thompson's got a voice changer because he wants to change his voice because he is a very famous person. He is well known. He is internationally known. So he wants to keep it on the down low right now. He wants to keep it on the down low right now, and you know what I'm saying? He just wants to lots of let's get Sam on the phone. Let's see if he's on. I think he's on. Let's Sam here from Australia wants to talk about the gas prices and what's going on there.
Hello?
Hi, is this Sammy?
Yeah, Mike, how you going?
Good, you're live. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, not too much. Just got back from church and just doing a couple of chores.
Well,
how you going, mate?
You sent me 45 messages, and what's going on with petrol there? What's going on with gas in Australia?
I've just been showing you how the fuel prices are skyrocketing here, as you'd seen. I just went past this morning and was it 179 unleaded?
Wow. Well, that's a lot of money for fuel.
Yeah, and it jumped. Got there in no time.
What did it cost you to fill your tank this morning, or today, or this week?
I've not filled up recently. Actually, I bought myself a little motorbike, just a 250 to commute to work on, because I've only got like a 15-minute commute, so I just bought a little bike. I was like, might as well.
Oh,
the price of fuel's going up.
Oh, you're one of the lucky ones then.
Yeah, like I was saying it before, I'm up here in the northwest WA, and my commute's pretty small, like 12 minutes to get to work, but if you were down in Perth, some of the commutes there are over an hour, so you'd be really hurting at the minute.
Man, you could stay home. Okay, if you're doing a commute for 1 hour there, 1 hour back, you could stay home and make fake Gucci wallets, and you could be ahead, better. Those 2 hours you spend in traffic, you could just make fake Gucci wallets and you'll be better. You'll be better off.
Yeah, probably that's the reality of it. Especially in Perth, where it's so spread out, eh?
Yeah. So what's happening with housing in your area? I know it's down. Is it still going down?
Where I am, it leveled off, like I shown you them charts before, where the median was up around 1 million and then dropped down to 200 and something, and now it's sort of leveled off and come up a little bit. So
are a lot of people moving from New South Wales?
I wouldn't know so much, because the trouble we're living here is it's pretty harsh climate, you see, and it doesn't have all the amenities that you like a big city would have, if you know what I mean. Are
you like close to a desert, like outback? Like, are you close to an outback?
Yeah, I'm in the area called the Pilbara. It's in the northwest. If you were to drive it, it's 1,600 kilometers from Perth. So.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now. Australia map. Okay, let's go to maps.
Yeah, Dampier. Dampier. Dampier.
Okay, is it, are you, I'm looking on the map here. How far, okay, I'm looking at, oof, I can't pronounce a single word here. Are you close to Coral Bay?
Further north.
Further north, okay. Are you in Port Sampson? Point Sampson?
Point Sampson. Yeah, near there. That's a little sort of town. Yeah, that's where we are in that area, so I'm just to the west of there.
Wait. So you're close to Mount Aknetel?
Ancatel, yeah, that's just like a locality. We're in Dampier and Karratha.
I see Karratha. It's by Bulgara.
Yeah, that's it. That's one of the suburbs.
Okay, let's go to Google Maps. Let's get them on the ground here. Let's see what your area looks like. Wow.
It's pretty.
It's so arid. It's so dry.
Yeah, it is. It's sort of I think a class is subtropical. We get a lot of cyclones here, so we have November to April is our cyclone season, or hurricanes as you call them in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, I've been in quite a few hurricanes. Let me see the downtown area. Oh, you got the McDonald's. Ooh, you got Jamaica Blue there.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you got the police there. So this is your little downtown. Ooh, you got Evolution Lounge Bar there?
Yeah, that's a bit of a dive there.
Is it?
You don't want to go in there.
Okay, let's check it out from the outside here. Evolution Bar. Let's see if it's a dive. Hold on. I'm just checking it out right now. Okay, here. I'm outside Evolution Bar. There it is.
Yeah, there's a few of... That's more of a nightclub, that one, Mike.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to think. It's a bit... Oh, you got a British Petroleum gas station there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know where you are.
Yeah.
So if I ever go to Australia, I'll just show up in this town and look for you. I'll just show up there and say, "Yo, man, I'm looking for my man. I'll just go to church and find you."
Yeah, come around. I'll get the kettle on.
Yep. I don't think there's too many. There's not a lot of churches in this town, are there?
Yeah, but you'd be surprised. There's a big Catholic church. I go to the Anglican church.
Okay.
And yeah, there's a few. There's Mormons and who else? You got Seventh-day Adventists and Baptists. There's quite a few. You'd be surprised.
I have Lord Humongous here. Says it looks like a little town in Mad Max movie.
Yeah, as soon as you leave the town, it's like that. The scenery, definitely.
Really? Okay, let's zoom it out. Let's go to outside here on the major highway. I saw a major highway here. Here it is, Highway 1. Highway 1.
Yeah, that would be the Northwest Coastal Highway.
Yeah, okay, so let's jump on Highway 1, and let's see what it looks like from the ground. Whoa. What if someone's stranded out there? What happens?
Well, if you don't get any assistance, you're in a bit of trouble, aren't you? But it's quite a busy road. That's a main road that goes up the west coast, so there's a lot of traffic on there. Generally, people stop there if you're stuck.
Okay. But what if you're like 1,000, or like 800 kilometers from Perth? You're screwed, right?
Yeah, on this road that goes all the way down to Perth and through Carnarvon and Geraldton, it's quite a busy road. But yeah, see, I do a bit of prospecting, so I go quite remote sometimes, and some days, some of those places I go to, sort of venturing further inland, you'd struggle to see a few people there. So.
Interesting. Maybe I'll go there for a week or two with the family and just tour Australia. I'll start where you are, and then I'll make my way down to Perth and see the other guy I know down in Perth, and then head over to the Eastern Australia, and go to Sydney, and then go to Melbourne, and then go home.
Yeah, it'd be a bit of a trip there, Mike. You'd have to fly into Perth first, because we don't have an international airport here, it's only domestic.
Oh, we'll make an international airport.
Well, there was this company, I can't remember what they're called, JetGo or something, who was going to make one flight a week to Singapore. So they've got quite a few investors on board, and a few of the locals, they even started selling tickets. And then the company went bust, so a lot of people lost their money, eh?
Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt.
That was real recent. That was this year. So.
Okay, so I'm finding a road. So I'm going a couple of 100 kilometers outside of your town, and I'm gonna see what's out here. This is a mine. Holy crap! This is a huge mine here. Oh, it won't let me. It won't let me place the little guy here, eh?
Now, what direction did you go, Mike?
I don't know. The world's upside down. It won't let me place the little guy in these areas. This must be top secret security areas then.
It'd be a bit far for that Google van to go sometimes, I suppose, the one with all the cameras up.
Holy, what is that? Is that open pit mining?
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's predominantly iron ore.
Yeah, okay.
There's been a bit of BHP and Rio have committed to a few big new mines.
Mm-hmm.
You'd know BHP, they're pretty big in Canada, aren't they?
Wow, this is a big country, man. This is a
pretty far.
very big country. Yeah, you are like you're in the driest part of the country, dude.
Yeah, it's very dry. Well, we get most of our rain in summer, in the wet season. So.
Oh, so in the next 2 months, you can start rainy season in 2 months?
Yeah, so November to April, more or less. That's
okay.
Classified it. But there's a lot of water. There's heaps of water under the ground here. That's the thing. So
have you been to Coral Bay?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm looking at Coral Bay right now. Ooh. There's a
people go on about the Great Barrier Reef on the East Coast, but you've got to steam out quite a fair way to get to the reef there. But in the Ningaloo Reef, which is Coral Bay, Exmouth, you can swim to the reef just off the beach. It's just right in front of you. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, that looks pretty hot, dude. That looks pretty hot. It looks very, like, I don't know how to say it, very untouched. Like it's not been mangled by so many people.
No, that's right.
It doesn't look like it's been, like, downtown LA County. You know what I'm saying? It looks very untouched.
Yeah, a lot of the climate's pretty inhospitable, you see, so it puts a lot of people off. I mean, winter's beautiful. You know, the temperatures never get above 30. Usually 28 during the day and gets cool on the night.
Mm-hmm.
But summer's pretty rough. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
interesting. Well, anyways, I just wanted to call and touch base with you and what's happening in your neck of the woods. And, yeah, we'll keep in touch. I'll have you on the show again. Maybe you could tell us what's going on in, what'd you say about food prices? Did you say something about food prices in the message?
Yeah, like I said, like the price of fuel's going
food. You said food.
Yeah, but like I said, usually they'll say, they'll blame that on the food prices going up. But I've not seen them move too much. So I'm guessing that'll be the next thing that will put through the prices will skyrocket.
Interesting.
And as you can see, where I live, it's a big distance from Perth to truck a lot of the food up. So usually it's a lot more expensive here than it would be in Perth anyway, you know?
So I'm looking, Lord Humongous is asking, are there any topless, do girls go topless on that beach?
I don't know, but there's a few Aussie blokes that give them for a run for the money in the chest stakes, I can tell you that. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not a nudist beach. I think there's the one up in Broome. I think there might be. In Broome there might be a nudist beach, if you're into that kind of thing.
Okay, someone in the question in the thing was, so that's Coral Bay, people. Coral Bay. That looks awesome, dude. What about
beautiful.
What about Bujo?
Where's that? Broome?
Bujo.
How's that spelled, Mike?
Bruboodjoo.
Well, I don't know. I've never heard of that one.
It's a beach. It's like off grid. It's completely off the grid. It's just like in the middle of nowhere. It looks like someone camped there. Oh, I see. There's cars parked. There's cars parked all around, and there's beautiful coral and beach and white sand. I see what it is. Okay. I see what it is.
Yeah, it's just got your other big tourist area, and if you go further north, so from where I live, there's another 8 hours drive north, well, sort of northeast. Is Broome. I don't know if have you ever heard of Broome?
I'm looking at it right now. Broome. I found it.
Yeah, that's a nice spot.
Broomy.
Yeah, that was a big pearling town back in the day. So they've still got the pearl farms there, and there's crocodiles up that end now, so you got to be careful.
Okay, I'm looking at it now. It looks pretty. I see the area. I see the beach. There's lookout points here. It looks pretty nice.
Yeah, there was a bit of a dispute there a few years ago. They were going to build a big gas plant, LNG plant. Woodside first, but...
And then what happened?
Oh, it sort of got canned. There was a big uproar due to environmental reasons.
There's always these environmentalists that think they know what's good for the planet, and they always think they know what's best, and blah 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 and blah blah blah, right?
I'll tell you what made me laugh. I was chatting to them one time, and they were going on about they were going to build the jetty out to load the LNG ships. And they said, this is how stupid they are. They goes, oh, well, the jetty will affect the migrating humpback whales that we have migrating past, coming down this way.
That's
Is that right? I says, well, where I live, there's a port called Cape, it's near that Point Sampson called Cape Lambert, and that jetty's over 3 kilometres long, and you can see humpback whales aren't stupid, they can swim around it, you know what I mean? They're just half with some of them.
Yeah, I know. The whales aren't idiots. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just people that they think they know too much, and they want to, I don't know, educate the rest of the world. I think they should take showers more often, if you ask me. But,
well, they're not like that, Mike, especially the Greens. They'd only be happy when you're shackled to your chair and you can't do anything. Then they might be happy then.
Yeah, that's probably what they're out. That's probably what they want. Okay, Sammy, thank you so much for the insight, and have yourself a good Sunday there.
You too, Mike. Thanks for the call, mate.
Good night. Good night.
God bless. Bye.
Yeah, God bless you. So that's my man Sammy over in northwestern Australia, way northwest Australia. Cool place, very outback looking. So, guys, for those living in Mississauga, please vote for Kevin J. Johnston. Also, the guys, don't forget to vote for Faith Goldie, please. And eBankU, don't forget to like his Facebook page. If you just type in his name, he's got a Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel, too. And Kevin Thompson is trying to sell a condo in Oakville, Ontario, so if anybody's interested. And, yeah, that's what's going on. And Kevin Thompson is trolling people in the as usual. Okay, so let's head out to, who do we got going on? I want to get working on it because I want to know what's going on with the new minimum wage increase in Alberta. And for people watching in the United States or Australia or New Zealand, Alberta is one of the states or provinces here we have in Canada that's are like Texas. It's like the oil state, a province, and it's like the Lone Star province of our provinces. They wear cowboy hats too. It's the country. It's the same idea. So I want to see if she's there. If she could talk to us on what's happening. She tried to get on last week, but I went too late. Let's find out and see if Moby's on. We'll get Moby on. Find out what's happening with the race there in Toronto. I don't know if he's going to answer because... see if he answers. What's happening with Faith Goldie and... No dice. He's unavailable. Steve, go ahead and call in. Steve is messaging me. Go ahead and call in. Let us know what's happening. Yeah, the phone audio sucks, guys. I mean, Steve could use the phone to call me. And it's just that the phone audio is not clear. Skype is a lot clearer. That's why I get all these people internationally sound clear as day. Sometimes the cell phone... I don't know what it is, man. What's going on, but... And, let me see who else is here. I could get, what's his name? Rex Cohan, if he's not in jail. Last I heard, he got arrested somewhere, so... He got arrested in Barstow, California. He's been in Barstow. So Steve said he's calling right now. Hurry up, Steve. Here is Faith Goldie getting ushered off stage here. And the media making her look bad as usual. Oh, look at this guy. I'm going to show you something, man. I'm going to tell you two things, man. Yeah, I'm going to tell you about this, and yeah. Yeah, right. So, we gotta go actually on her page on YouTube. Who the hell is this?
Kevin Thompson!
Oh my god, Kevin Thompson, how are you?
I'm okay.
No, you're okay.
Why does everybody put me on a timeout? I feel like I'm 3 years old.
Listen, Mr. Thompson, you know, we know that you are selling a condo in Oakville, Ontario, that you're losing your shirt on. But it's okay, it happens.
No, it's not for sale anymore.
What happened to it?
Well, I had to sell my shirt to stay in it, so I go topless now.
Anyway, Steve the plumber in the house. Steve, what's going on, buddy?
Not a whole heck of a lot, man. What's going on with you?
Absolutamente nada. But I do want to bring up Faith Goldie. Guys, it's the 22nd. It's voting day, right?
It certainly is. It's Monday, and she actually got endorsed by the Chinese media, or the Chinese channel, if you will, in Toronto.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was all over YouTube. You should pull that up right now. It's actually great. So that's a huge influence, and they came right out and said, vote for her. Or at least I think that's what they were going with it. I don't speak Chinese.
Let me see here. Right here.
多倫多市選競逐進入最後衝刺嘅階段，咁接種候選人咧多達35人，咁其中被主流媒體標籤為立場右傾嘅 Faith Goldie，咁今日咧就喺華人聚居嘅士嘉堡度拉票。何家碧報導。
今屆多倫多市選候選人當中 ，Faith Goldie 有佢嘅華人支持者，佢今日嚟到華人聚居嘅。
That's what I like about Faith Goldie, Steve, is the fact that she's always outside with people.
Yeah, it's fantastic. She's great. There was a situation outside a subway station where the media was there and John Tory was there with all his paid actors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certain that they're paid. Like, give me a break. No one can love somebody that much. But in any event, in a roundabout way, I'm sure there's some sort of monetary benefit for those nobodies standing around. And they actually tried, well, they were pretty much successful in
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of like, I'm still kind of, it's still boggling in my mind that how people are allowing the media blackouts to happen to her. Why isn't anyone standing up? Why isn't there more people standing up? Or is it the silent majority is going to win her the election?
What do you think, Mike?
I think the silent majority is gonna be the voice of this election. I think John Tory doesn't have a chance to win. I don't think he has a chance to win. I think Toronto's been in a huge decline from what I've seen. Parts of the city have been sold out to foreign investors. I see a lot of problems. I see a lot of with this whole refugee thing and all these hotels, and it just looks like a nightmare. Shootings every 2 days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. It's not good. John Tory has taken away all the tricks of the trade or the tools for the Toronto Police Service in terms of carding, and then stop and frisk. It's an uphill battle, and it's just no longer safe in Toronto. It absolutely is no longer safe to even go outside half the time after 10, 11 o'clock. Because there's so much gun violence.
Yeah. See, I don't mind guns. It's not the guns that create the problems. It's the people, right? And I think if a lot of these people get checked before they come in to make sure they're not criminals, it's almost like it's you're offending somebody by checking them out to make sure they're not coming here to kill us.
Absolutely. The screening process needs to be there with immigration. They need to know who's coming into the country. Just because they cross over and they look destitute or, down and out doesn't mean that they're not psychotic. Doesn't mean they have second or hidden agendas.
No, Steve, I'm not saying that, Steve. I'm not even going with that. I'm thinking that the screening process is very Mickey Mouse. Because they don't want to offend somebody by asking them the wrong questions.
Right. Okay.
That's where I'm getting at.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, we're going to offend somebody if we ask the wrong questions and all this other stuff.
It's garbage.
I don't want to go. Yeah.
You know what the problem? You know what the problem is, Steve? Okay, let's say we're at a party. We're having a few martinis. We're hanging out, and a couple of people are there. I'm not going to go up to somebody and ask them, "Hey, did you kill somebody in your country?" Okay, that's not going to work. But if you're at a border crossing and you ask someone, have you killed somebody in your country? I think that's a legitimate question to ask somebody, especially if you think there's somebody that's going to cause trouble, right?
I agree. Absolutely. Obviously, they're going to say no. But, I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, you're absolutely right. We should be able to ask any and all questions.
Yeah, that's true, Mike. That stupid word racism, fed up with that word. Racism means nothing. It has no intrinsic value anymore. I'm a racist, okay? There's no value to it. You can call somebody a racist nowadays, it means like you're a toaster. Or you're this water, this juice water. With no sugar, by the way. There's no difference then. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I never thought I'd actually go ahead and thank Donald Trump. But what he did today with the U.S.-Mexico border actually single-handedly, probably, well, more than likely, saved Canada hundreds of millions of dollars, not letting all those people into the border.
Okay, Steve, buddy, we're gonna do a little bit of a divide here, okay?
Let's do it.
Rosie O'Donnell was on the news the other day just bashing Donald Trump and bashing women and saying that he's bashing women and this and that and called some lady a horse face. And, okay, now, you got MSNBC and then you got Fox News. Okay, watch this divide, okay, Steve? We're going to go to MSNBC first. Okay, we're going to play a little bit of a clip.
They cheated on the First Lady with horseface. And to make matters worse, new reporting suggests that wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. The Daily Beast reports, quote, Privately, the president not only thought that it was strategically smart to go after the adult film star Stormy Daniels in such a visceral way, he workshopped the insult prior to tweeting it. Well before Trump mocked Daniels' physical appearance, he trial ballooned the horse-face dig privately among White House aides, close friends, and acquaintances. One source close to Trump even recalled him saying in passing, "That bleeping horse face." Steve, Rosie, and Eugene are still here. I read these things and I'm shocked, but I'm guessing you are not.
I'm not shocked. No, he'll do anything and everything to get what he wants, and women are of no value to him in his life or world. The only one who is, I think, is his daughter. That's it. The rest of the women in the world are useless, as the immigrants that he says are coming from, Honduras to take us in caravans. Watch out for the caravan. There are people walking away from certain death in third world countries, right? The man doesn't care at all. So what he did...
Sorry, guys, you had to see that. So I needed to play that clip. Now, this is Rosie O'Donnell doing her thing, right? Now, so this is what the comments say now, Steve, okay? Listen to this divide. So one girl comments, "Rosie needs an uncensored YouTube channel. I will have my popcorn ready every night." Then somebody says, "Rosie, so glad you're still on fire. You're a passion for our country." And then somebody says, "Rosie looks great with her natural hair. Very classy." And he's just mad because Stormy revealed his thumb-sized sausage. And someone says, "Elect clown for president, expect circus." And make America great again, impeach Donald Trump. "Rosie, you look fantastic. I love your hair, Rosie. Thank you for being an inspiration to America." And you know what, Steve, in all fairness, to be very fair with you, this is the whole leftist. That's their mentality of thinking, right? And here's the problem with this. Now, let me tell you what my problem is with this article of this story on YouTube. I posted a post that said, "Ha ha ha, Rosie O'Donnell's a horse face." You know they deleted my post?
Really?
Yep, it's gone. It's not here. My comment's gone. Because what would happen is my comment, when I go, because I'm on my channel, it would show what I've already posted on this video.
Wow.
So they've censored my post when I said Rosie O'Donnell's a horse face. So now, let's go back here. Now, let me get to my point here. Where was it here? We'll go back. Now, we'll go to Dean Cain reacts to Rosie O'Donnell Trump bashing.
Rosie O'Donnell really, really hates Trump. But unlike most people in her world who really hate Trump, she can credibly claim it's not a new thing. She's been hating Trump for many years. But she's no closer to winning that debate. Yesterday on MSNBC, Rosie showed she still has not recovered from the 2016 election. Here's part of it.
We are going to right the ship. There's no way that he's going to prevail because he's evil. He's dark. It's the opposite of what America stands for. I always thought, why didn't they counter-program his rallies, his Nazi-esque rallies? When he was elected, what I wrote on Twitter was we should impose martial law till we make sure that the Russians weren't involved in the final tallies of the vote.
He wants to send the military to the border, so...
I want to send the military to the White House to get him.
Martial law? Nicole Wallace thinks that's a good idea. Dean Cain is an actor. Joins us tonight. You know, Dean, you've been here all your life. Obviously, you're a famous actor. If I were running the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, I would call Rosie O'Donnell and say, pull back a little. Martial law, really? You're embarrassing us.
Yeah, well, I mean, that thing was a joke she said about sending the military over to get him out of the White House.
Yeah.
It was a joke, a thinly veiled joke. But when she did say, she tweeted martial law, impose martial law until we're sure the Russians had nothing to do, that was insane. I mean, that's a coup.
Well,
that's
it is
coup.
insane.
It's crazy.
So but don't other people in her world say, look, Rosie, I get it, you don't like Trump, you're a liberal, okay, fine. But you're discrediting yourself and the rest of us by acting like a mental patient on TV. Don't do that.
Well, that sounds entirely reasonable, Tucker. Why would something like that happen?
No, I guess that's right.
Completely reasonable. No, I know Rosie. I knew her back on her show back in the day, and we were very friendly and wonderful. I don't know that she would talk to me now, but I disagree with her.
Yeah.
And I would be happy to sit across from her and say, I disagree. And even on that show, all they did was laugh, and they're all on the same side. Why didn't anybody offer a dissenting opinion and say, well, that doesn't make any sense?
Yeah, why don't Nicole Wallace say, really, martial law?
I mean, because that
seems a little,
I'm getting to here is Now, let me read some of the comments now on Fox News, which is the flip side of it, okay?
Yep.
There's my comment right there. So I wrote a comment on both one, and then I wrote, Rosie is a horse face, and there's little pictures of horses. There's my comment. It's up on Fox. But on the MSNBC, it was removed.
Well, it's kind of turning into more of a dictatorship than anything else. They're trying to suppress certain information, and it's the furthest thing from ideal. But I think you have to come to terms, and the harsh reality is that's just how things are. And I just don't see it getting any better. It's going to get a whole lot worse.
So the comments on this side is pretty bad. Rosie, you do not speak for the U.S., you trailer trash. There's lots of bad comments on the Fox side. So America's going through a massive divide right now, and it's not between race, color, creed, religion. It's more about left and right. And I made a video about this a few months ago in the summer, saying there's going to be a huge divide, and it's going to be political. Now, like they said on the Fox News, when you have a panel, why don't they have someone there to kind of object to things that people are saying? Why is everyone always agreeing? That's what the problem is, and that's what's problem in the media, is you have no one objecting to craziness, and that's what's happening right now.
I agree, and it's only going to get worse, like I said, and I have reason to believe that Donald Trump could quite possibly get in again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess, does anybody know, or has anybody heard anything about Joe Biden? I actually like Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, you're talking about Mafia Joe, right?
Joe Biden, right-hand man to the basically Obama.
Yeah, I know that guy. I'm not too much of a fan of him. I don't like him too much. I mean, there's not much out there to pick from right now, Steve. So, I mean, the Democrats are falling apart at the seams. They're trying to throw everything on the news and anything on the news to try and discredit Trump. And, well, why don't they just applaud and pat him on the back and say, you know what, we made fun of you the whole time you were running for president, and we said you will never win, and then you won, and then now we're just going to kind of demonize you for the next 4 years?
Well, they're mad. They're very mad because, you know, quite frankly, he won. And he's the president of the United States. He is the most powerful man in the world.
And then that's the thing, but it's like, but then what's the point of the whole democracy thing if the guy that wins that you don't like, then what? You should change the law because of him? Laws that have been put in constitutions? Do you know what's holding the world together right now? Steve, do you know what's holding the world together? It's not Donald Trump. Do you know what it is?
I'm at a loss right now. I don't understand how mass panic and war hasn't broken out.
You know what's holding the world together and why, what you said, mass panic, it's the American Constitution. America's one of the very few countries that still abides by their Constitution and holds it as the highest level of law. The Constitution is what basically Canada had to adopt off the American Constitution because the American Constitution was based or founded off Christian principles, you know what I'm saying? Or Christian, like, whatever. I'm not giving the Christians a thing. I'm just saying it was based off Christian principles. And the Constitution, once you see the Constitution of the United States get dissolved or eradicated or changed or reformed, you'll see the rest of the world collapse. The whole world will fall right behind.
Yeah, I guess I could see that.
You'd start seeing Australia get taken over, social media sites blacklisted. You'll start seeing people purged off social media. You'll see people getting arrested at their homes. All the countries that follow the American standards will start to moving in their own direction. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing it becoming a big deal. I'm seeing it's the American Constitution. It was the Founding Fathers. It's that piece of paper that was put together in the 1770s that was considered high treason at the time, going against the British. It was high treason. Anybody that signed that was considered high treason. And they were going to announce John Hancock as the first president of the United States, or the Confederate States, or New England, or whatever it was called. They were going to actually make John Hancock because he was the most popular one. But they actually took George Washington and took him as the first president because he was from a different state, and they felt there would be more of a balance if they took someone from outside the circle to bring more balance into their circle. And that's it. The Founding Fathers founded the country on a document. And that document, by far, Steve, is the most important document that we have in the world. And if that falls, you're going to start to see massive chaos. You're going to start to see, you know, like Bill Murray said, cats sleeping with dogs and raining fireballs and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? From Ghostbusters.
Yeah, poop would hit the fan, that's for sure.
So, Steve, what's going on, buddy? What do you want to tell us? You said you had a story.
I got lots of stories. What do you want to hear?
The one you wanted to tell me earlier, and I told you to tell it on the show.
Which one was that? Refresh my memory. We talked about a couple of things.
You were saying something about, what were we talking about? We weren't talking about pot. We were talking, brain drain. What's going on with the Great Canadian Brain Drain? I met somebody over Skype today that moved to just outside of Houston, and they bought a 5-bedroom on 3 acres of land for $210,000 US.
Wow.
And they were
that's incredible.
Not even a registered nurse. Oh, you know those people that take blood when you donate blood?
Yep.
That's what they're certified in, and they got a job down there doing that.
Great.
Yeah. So what's happening with the brain drain, Steve? I know you got your business. Are you losing people to the States recently? Are you seeing a lot of because of the slowness in the construction? Are you seeing people leaving to the stateside? What's going on, buddy?
I'm seeing people explore the opportunity right, left, and center with respect to them finding work in the U.S. They're all looking down there or starting to make some calls and whatnot. But the problem is if they aren't in a demand trade, an actual physical trade, you know, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, they're not going to, they're really going to have a hard time. However, we're losing, forget about people, we're losing Canadian money to the U.S. It is leaving in droves right now because of where the Canadian economy is heading. And it's definitely not a good thing. There was an interesting article, I believe it was on BNN, and they had come out and they had said, with respect to first-time home buyers or home buyers that required CMHC insurance, 70% of those buyers basically bought homes stretched to their max qualification.
But that gives
should tell you something.
But that gives you no breathing room.
Of course it doesn't.
Wow. This is gonna fall harder than Niagara Falls, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. This is gonna be the biggest thing. And I've been following this for many years now. And I've been watching these bizarre these bizarre patterns, these underlying things that are happening, and government propping, and the media not on our side. I've been seeing this. It's just these algorithms that don't make any sense, and people are still walking into. It's like they're walking into a bridge that's not going to be built for another 50 years, but they're walking out into the sky, saying, "Well, 50 years from now, there will be a bridge built here, but I'm going to walk into the sky right now because I can't wait for the bridge to be built."
Yeah, there is very much so the fear of missing out. Organized real estate has a astronomical influence on that. They're trying to keep the party going, but it's all crumbling right before everybody's eyes. And slowly but surely, we will see the correction that is malls, I think we're going to see things really unfold real quick, real fast. Toronto, with respect to them being on the map for the purposes of overvaluation and the potential for a correction/crash on a major level, they rank number 3 in the world.
Oh yeah, it's number 3. Yeah, it was number 4 for a while, and then I think Paris or something else dropped, and that went up, right? I got a report from the ground right now from 5 seconds ago from Melbourne, Australia. It's really important, guys, from Melbourne. Auction clearance rate just came in for Melbourne, 47%. That does not include the properties that agents have withdrawn off the market and not reported so. More like 40% of the market is heading into black hole scenario. Seatbelts on. It's going to drop more than 40% and wipe out many people. We never buy in a falling market. We wait first for it to have a massive 40% drop, then wait for a false move up, dead cat bounce, and then back down once this happens. Wait 1 to 2 years for the market move sideways, and then slowly holds the price if it can. As traders, stay a golden rule: you never try to catch a falling knife, because as you will get cut. So that's just off right now on the ground from my man Steven 2 minutes ago right now in Melbourne, Australia. That's been following the auction markets. Okay, continue, Steve.
Yeah, no problem. That's very interesting. The way that I see it is real estate as a whole within the GTA, and again, I don't really follow Vancouver as much as I should, but Steve Saretsky had something out today in his latest YouTube blog post, whatever you want to call it, his market update. And not to digress, he actually had mentioned in Langley there was a developer that they're getting so desperate out there that the developer is agreeing for the first, I think it's, the first 20 or 30 buyers, they'll take care of and pay for their a full year of mortgage payments for the first year.
That's great. But I just hope Strata payments aren't $400 or $500 a month.
Yeah, no kidding. So that's pretty interesting. Toronto, with respect to listings, the GTA as a whole, including Mississauga, the 905, Aurora, Newmarket, listings are actually really, really skyrocketing right now. Prices are not skyrocketing, but the inventory is definitely continuing to rise, and we're starting to see that in my neck of the woods, and it's not a good thing. I think once interest rates do rise on Wednesday, we're going to see a lot of people that were holding off start to list, because that's going to be, multiple consistent rate increases over the past year.
Okay, Steve, let's talk about historian on the warpath. This was sent to me by my man Anon, who is on the ground there in Sydney, Australia. So this is a kind of really cool article I kind of want to talk with you about. It's called The Communist Body Count, okay? So which country do you think, well, I don't know if you're watching the screen, but what do you think is the #1 country with the biggest body count? That's from starvation and famines and just, yeah.
Like you're talking about overall population?
Yeah.
I guess that would be China.
Yeah, 73,237,000,000. Followed by the Soviet Union, a socialist republic from 1922 to 1991, 58 million. 627,000. The body count covers 1923 to 1987. Then the Russian Soviet Federal Socialist Republic from 1918 to 1922. In 4 years, 3 million people died. And then Democratic People's Republic of Korea, North Korea, body count 3,163,000. That's from 1948 to present. And then Cambodia is number 5 with the body count of 2.6 million. I remember Cambodia, man, it was a nightmare in Cambodia. What happened in Cambodia was just I saw a documentary of what happened with how they murdered and just butchered people on the streets. I couldn't get I couldn't sleep for a week. And then number 6, Democratic Republic of Afghanistan, 1.7 million. Number 7, Vietnam, 1.6 million. Number 8, People's Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, 1.3 million. Then Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, 1 million. And then Chinese Soviet Republic from 1931 to 1934, 700,000. Then People's Republic of Mozambique, that's Portuguese Africa. That's after the Portuguese left in 1975, and then everyone just starved after the Portuguese left. Number 12, Socialist Republic of Romania, 435,000. People's Republic of Bulgaria, and People's Republic of Angola, which is Portuguese Africa, after 1975. Again, people starved after the Portuguese left. So, you know how many... Yeah, so that's that, Steve. I kind of wanted to throw that out there. What do you think of that? It's communist body count.
That's pretty scary. That is absolutely terrifying when you think about it. Yeah, that's disturbing. Wow.
Yeah, it's broken down by dates, by gaps, different gaps. So, like, for example, People's Republic of China, there's like 4 gaps. There's 49 to present, then there's 49 to 87. There's a gap there, 2005, and then there's Tiananmen Square, 1989. So there's like different breakdowns and gaps, but the total is 73,237,000. So that's twice Canada's population, basically.
Yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah.
Yeah. So in your opinion, why are they trying to bring communism to these free countries?
Well, you know, I guess you can look at it as communism. It's also socialism, and socialism hasn't worked at all going back historically over the years. It just does not work. It fails. It's failed many, 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 many times. Why are they doing it? I think people are a bunch of bleeding hearts. They don't like the truth. They don't like what Donald Trump is doing. They don't like when, you know, they are no longer in a position where they can strive to have a country dominate and think exactly the way that they do. There's many, many, many factors, but Mike, make no mistake, this is here to stay. This isn't going anywhere.
I know.
It's going to be a fight.
I know, and this is a problem, Steve. This is. I'm really scared, you know, because I have children, and anyways, let's change the topic before we get depressed. I got an article I want to bring up, Steve. Here it goes. This is a good one. Let me put some audio on this.
Well, to be part of history, one, and to finally see the end of the social stigma that surrounds cannabis users. I like to call myself a connoisseur, and that's what I'll be known from now on for the rest of my days. I'm a connoisseur, not a, you know, stupid stoner. A million emotions. I can't believe we did. All the years of activism paid off. Cannabis is legal in Canada, and everybody should come to Canada and enjoy our cannabis.
You got police outside your door, buddy?
Regrettably, they just flew by, or they're trying to fly by. I'm telling you, it's getting bad, Mike.
Okay, here's the article. Canada is running out of marijuana 2 days after drug became legal. What is going on, Steve?
Sorry, Mike, you completely cut out there. What did you say?
Sorry. Canada's running out of marijuana 2 days after the drug became legal.
Well, I mean, did they really run out, or are they rationalizing it, or were they not ready for the influx? I've been in some of those places, and I can't really talk about it because I've signed my life away. There's enough cannabis to go around for everyone. shit ton.
Okay. So it's saying Vancouver's base lift, a marijuana media platform in Vancouver, estimate Canada's cannabis industry has enough funding to boost production for a consumable herb between 400,000 and 500,000 kilos a year. Is that enough to give to everybody in the country?
I don't know enough about it, Mike. I don't use cannabis. I suppose they could continue to produce to meet the demand. But, I mean, make no mistake, I mean, there's a lot of hype and euphoria going on that surrounds all of this, right?
Let's look at this here. It says, according to Statistics Canada, 5.4 million Canadians will buy cannabis from legal dispensaries in 2018, and the year is almost over, dude. About 15% of the population, around 4.9 million, already smoke.
Well, then maybe we don't have enough.
Woo! Okay, Steve, are you gonna vote?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, Moby's in the comments. He's saying that the hype will fade. And
yeah, it most likely will. You know, it's one of those things where they're really trying to control, you know, where you can smoke, what you can do, what you can't do. I mean, organized real estate right now is freaking out because, you know, the value of homes will naturally go down if cannabis is grown within the home.
Interesting. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Mike. Any negative connotation towards, you know, in declining with respect to the position of organized real estate, they will do whatever they can to make sure that that is not the case.
Okay. And that's what the agenda they're pushing.
That is the whole agenda, Mike.
So, yeah, I just wanted to ask, you know, get you on the phone, find out what's going on. So, with different, are you going to be on trends in the housing market?
I am, and there's some big things coming down the pipe this week.
Well,
big things.
Do your research.
Including an interest rate.
Oh yeah, that's in stone. We have no choice. I think Australia is going to raise rates too, so we're going to keep our pulse on that because that's very important. Because Australia and New Zealand are the key to this whole housing crisis, and you see this whole domino effect. It's going to start in that region there in the southern hemisphere, and it's going to work its way to the UK, which is already underwater, and it's going to work its way to Canada and south to the US. The US won't be as bad because they've aggregated by raising interest rates, which was a smart thing to do at the right time. So they raised rates, and that was a very smart thing to do. And they need to raise more rates because they're nowhere close to where it's got to be. And hopefully this will bring up the bond market will look more attractive, and then things will start moving around. So we'll start seeing corrections in the markets too. So, but this is going to hurt. When they raise rates, Steve, you know what the problem is when they raise rates, Steve? Is the people that are taking business loans to actually hire people and start businesses, they're going to be affected with it too. That's the problem, Steve.
Yes, absolutely. Growth is going to start to slow down substantially, and we're inching closer and closer and closer to that reset button. But we need that reset button so goddamn bad, it's not even funny. We need to wipe out these ethereal gains. We need to come back down to reality. House prices should not be where they're at. It defines all logic. It defines actual people's current incomes. It's absolutely insane.
Okay, Steve, I wanted to ask you something. Why don't they make like a venture rate, like I call it a venture rate or entrepreneur rate, and then a lending rate for houses and borrowing and all that stuff. But why don't they set up an entrepreneur rate, and you have to prove that you're using it to really hire people and start a business? What if they kept those interest rates low so that we don't lose our private business sectors and entrepreneurs and young business people starting into the business sector, why don't they have a separate interest rate for them, which is really low, and then everybody else pay the regular interest rates, so that our dollar won't go into inflationary periods?
That's a great suggestion, and I'm not saying that it would work, and I'm not saying it won't work. But right now, because of Canada's ability not to be competitive, especially to the U.S., the moment that they make money cheaper and readily available to business owners for the purposes of growth and expansion and everything else, that money will be misallocated and misused, and then things will just take off. That's just a hunch, is what I'm trying to get at. And the other thing is, the government doesn't want to see everybody go ahead and become self-employed. Can you imagine trying to collect tax bills from, an abundance of people that went for, all of a sudden they're self-employed in business for self? That would be crazy.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Steve, I do pay my GST and my PST and my corporate tax, so I do pay my taxes. They're not cheap, but I do contribute. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's a lot of people there that won't, or that would lie, or that won't be honest. I know what you mean, Steve.
Oh, for sure. And then next thing you know, people are putting out private corporations and creating private corporations, and they start lending the money out to their friends and family.
Yeah. Somebody Elizabeth is saying in the comment section, guess what, people? We need to go back to the basics of life. That's true. We need to go back to the basics of life, and what does it mean to be alive? What does it mean to be human? We're forgetting those things. We're forgetting what it means to be here, and a lot of people are we're forgetting that,
I agree. We've lost sight and track of what's truly important.
Exactly.
And from here, Mike, regrettably, it's a downward spiral. We'll be talking about this shortly, and we're going to actually go ahead and see once this reset button actually happens. It's going to be a good thing. Deep down inside, but a lot of people are going to be suffering. A lot of people are suffering right now.
And the media is doing such a great job. In Australia, at least they brought out that story that I brought up last week in Australia, how the help desk, or that help desk thing, they're flooded with calls of the amount of people that are calling in for financial advice, because they're going from interest only to payments and blah blah blah, like interest only payments to now paying down the principal and stuff, and they don't qualify, and it's turning into becoming a nightmare for a lot of those call centers. But here in Canada, we still don't hear too much. It's almost like nothing's happening.
Give it a little bit of time. We have that situation going on right here, right now, and as interest rates continue to rise, we're gonna start to hear a lot more of it. Now, keep in mind, Mike, the Federal Reserve has been hiking rates like crazy. Canada has not been that aggressive.
You know what? Yeah, Canada and Australia too. Australia is the worst of them all. Here, you want to see my hero? Here, I'll show you one of my heroes. Andrew Jackson. Can I tell you why Andrew Jackson's my hero? No, but that's not because he's on the American $20 bill. It's because old Hickory here, Andrew Jackson, American soldier and statesman who served the 7th president of the United States. Let me get to my point. Let me scroll down here. Early life, revolution, legal, marriage, land speculation, planting. Let's get to the big point here. And he did something. And let's see if it's in his Wikipedia article here. I'll tell you why I'm bringing up Andrew Jackson. Come on, where is it? It's not even coming in, man. Let's do Control F and find it. Okay, right here. Andrew Jackson said that the bank as a corrupt institution voted the renewal of its charter after lengthy struggle. Jackson and his allies thoroughly dismantled the bank in 1835. That's my hero right there. Jackson became the only president to completely pay off the national debt, fulfilling a long-time goal. His presidency marked the beginning of ascendancy of the party spoil system in American politics. In 1830, Jackson signed the Indian Removal Act to forcibly relocate. We're not going into that, but I'm talking about he completely dismantled the banking system. Andrew Jackson is, I'm going to have a picture of him up on my wall because he killed the banking system. And you know what he said on his deathbed? He said, "I saved America because I abolished the banking system in our country."
Yeah, I'd love to read up on that a little bit more.
Yep, and let me tell you something about Andrew Jackson. He basically spent most of his career, political career as president to pay off the American debt. So, the only president in history. Now I'm hearing myself talk back to me. Yeah, and so I wanted to bring that up. So Andrew Jackson, and then Lord Humunga says in the comments, he said something. Where is it here? Where is he? He said something way up here, and he talks about 1913 right here. America had no income tax extortion. Hold on, Steve. Your phone is. I'm getting reverb from you, buddy.
Oh, are you?
Big time. I'm just hearing myself talk back to you.
All right. Well, why don't I disconnect and we'll chat on Wednesday night.
Okay, I'll see you on Trends in the Housing Market, buddy.
Thanks.
Good night. So this is my hero right here, Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson faced the threat of secession of South Carolina over what opponents called the Tariff of Ambitious. The crisis diffused by the tariff right here. I'll say it again. An effort, the second bank of the United States, Jackson, regarding the bank as a corrupt institution, voted the renewal of its charter after a lengthy struggle. Jackson and his allies thoroughly dismantled the bank in 1835. That man is a hero. Paid down the American debt and completely paid off the national debt. That is... This right here is like who we should have pictures up on our walls. This is who we need to look up to right there. Anyways, why am I bringing it up? Okay, I'm going to go back to what Lord Humunga said here. In 1913, America had no income extortion tax until 1913. Do you know who that was? President Woodrow Wilson. President Woodrow Wilson was the president that basically sold out America and entered in the income tax law after World War I. And President Woodrow Wilson on his deathbed said he sold America out. He sold America out. So when people ask me, Mike, are we in a free country? Mike, are we living in a free country? Are we living in the free markets? No, we're not. We don't have free markets because we have a central bank. We have a central bank, and it's not a free market. Plain and simple. Andrew Jackson's my hero. Because he did what no other president could do. And Woodrow Wilson, after the World War II, after those meetings and stuff, completely sold his country out. Sold his country right out. That's right. Mr. E saying, Jackson killed the banks. My man. My man. Pay down the American debt. But John Quincy Adams, JQA. Anyways, guys, it's getting pretty late. It's 2.5 hours. I'm gonna have Moby on the hopefully on the show on Monday. I'm not sure if he's working, but I want to have him on the show on Monday during Election Day on the countdown, so we could have it live with Faith Goldie, so we could be live, guys. Don't forget to tune in on Monday, and we could see if we could get okay, Moby, call in. Hurry up. He wants to call in. He wants to call in. Hurry up. Call in. We need to organize something for Monday. Someone's saying there's a picture of Andrew Jackson on Trump's wall. Oh, no, I'm going to put a poster of this guy up in my... when I transform my office in my garage. I'm going to put a poster of this guy up. Someone's saying, you got Faith Goldie? Bank's going to crash sooner than later. Bank's going to crash. Oh, yeah. Banks are finished. Banks are not covering. Mike. Banks are not lending off deposits anymore. Yo, what's up? Who the hell is this?
Mike, how are you doing? Sorry I missed your call earlier.
Yeah, that's okay, buddy. I wanted to call because I want to organize with you. What time is the count? What time are we gonna know the count?
Okay, so first of all, I'm pretty sure you're aware of with your viewers there that the election's going to be October 22nd, and we're going to be voting ends at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And we'll know by we'll know by 8:30.
Probably 8:30, 8:45, because what has to happen is they got to close the doors. They got to let the remaining people inside the voting station vote, and then. So this is not your typical election where where they count ballots by hand. They're actually using tabulators.
Yes,
in this election.
I used one today. I went to go vote today, and I filled out all the little boxes, and then I went and I put it face down, and it tabulates it, and it goes into like a machine.
Yeah, it goes into the machine. The machine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you're basically going to get a number at the end of it once the polls close, right? After they let everybody vote, and after they let I guess the scrutineers check out the numbers and everything else, and basically it's going to be called in. Now I'm going to be working a poll on election day, so in the northwest end of Toronto. So I'm basically helping out a local candidate. So. And it looks like, and then based on the polling numbers, it looks pretty good, and it looks like my local candidate is going to win.
Good.
But I'll tell you this much. I mean, obviously, if you've been following the news, I've saw what you guys have been covering on the show tonight. Look, Faith is her campaign ever since she started running has only been going up, right? And I'm not going to say she's going to win, and I very much want her to, but consider this, Mike. How much of an embarrassment would it be if Faith came in second?
Yeah, it'd be a huge embarrassment to the rest of the other ones that who thought they had whoa, I'm the establishment and I'm what people want. I'm the voice of the no. There's a silent majority out there, and that's going to be proving it right there.
Absolutely, Mike. But I'll tell you this much. There is a lot of excitement on the ground. You have no idea. I mean, at least within my immediate network, outside of the people I engage with in politics, they want Faith. They really do. And they love what she stands for. They don't like the fact that she's being treated by the media in the way she's being treated. But look, they're going to do what they're going to do at the ballot box. Yeah.
Silent majority, buddy. How do you think Trump won? Do you think people working at their workplace, people working at their work in an office is like, I'm going to go vote for Trump today? Everyone's going to look at him and throw garbage at him. And then this way, the silent majority keeps their mouth shut, and then go and vote.
Yep, that's right. It's like they read the news and then they see what's happening online, and then it's like, okay, I know what I have to do. I don't have to say anything. And then when the results come out on election day, don't be surprised.
Yeah, don't be crying. Yeah,
absolutely. But it's gonna be fun to watch. I'm working in an area in the northwest end of the city where the media establishment is trying very, 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 very hard to install a left-leaning member of council.
Ooh.
And it's going to be and I'm working on the other side, right? To elect the right-leaning member of council. Now it's going to be very, 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 very interesting to watch, to see, I guess, all of the liberal tears as they as they whine and complain afterwards and they see the results. But and I mean, the media is doing everything. They're publishing bad stories. They're publishing ridiculous polls. They're trying to get comment from people in the community, and the media is really, really, really trying to buy this election. I'll tell you that much.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. Did you hear about the voter fraud in Richmond, BC?
Yes, I did. Where they're trying to pay for, I think, like transportation fees or something like that
for Chinese. Yeah.
Yes. That does not surprise me one bit. In fact, something like that happened here 4 years ago during the provincial election. No, excuse me, not the provincial election. During the municipal election, what happened was a liberal-leaning candidate tried to. It's something called. You'll like this one. It's called Smokes for Votes. So basically, what a liberal candidate who was running for city council tried to do, and she did successfully, was bribe people in apartment buildings with basically packages of cigarettes to go out and vote for her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a big thing in my local area, and we're just like, wow, really?
Yep.
And yeah, so I mean, like. Stuff like that happens actually more often than not. It just doesn't get reported as much.
Yeah. But this one in Richmond was a grand scale.
I believe it.
But there was they're saying that it's backed by the Chinese government.
I wonder why.
Economic takeover, buddy. Political takeover, economic takeover. It's all.
Well, listen. Look. The Chinese government probably has some interest in either Vancouver real estate or the surrounding areas or some businesses or something like that they want to maintain. And they want to do everything they can to maintain their interest there.
So could we have you as boots on the ground there when you're in your ward there? Maybe we could have you. We could have you. I'll get Skype on this. I have it on my phone, but I have it on the computer, and then I could just have you, like, I could just have you here. Basically on my computer showing the ground there on the ground what's happening live.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that.
Yeah, then this way you could talk to people on the street and stuff and say, hey, we're live right now streaming. What do you think is going to happen? We're not going to you don't ask people who they're going to vote for, but just say, are you excited for this election? It's very good to see young people out and about to vote. I'm very happy to see the community getting involved, and it's really nice to do something like that. And we'll get you on live. I just got to figure out how to have you out there, like you and me at the same time, because if I use the camera on my computer, then I'll disappear from the screen.
Okay, what if, I don't know, could you use like maybe this might be too much to ask. Would you happen to have like maybe like not a separate screen, but maybe if you were able to I don't know, sync between, say, like your phone and the computer or something like that.
I have 3 computer screens, and every time I use the 3 computer screens on this computer, so every time I turn on, like, say, Skype or something, what happens is my camera gets disconnected, and then, but I don't mind just having you up there showing while I'm off. I don't care. I really don't care. So then this way, it doesn't matter to me, and people don't have to see my fat face. We can see what's happening there on the ground. It's obviously more important than seeing me. But I'd like to have it like how CNN and Fox News has it, where they have 2 or 3 panels open at the same time.
Yeah, that really would be awesome. That really would be.
And then we could get then we could get things rolling like that and getting we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go. I mean, it's
yeah, absolutely. We'll figure out the logistics and the technicalities and all that fun stuff. But
because the right is growing,
the
right's starting to take over when it comes to voting at the polls, and the right leaning is taking over everything when it comes to the silent majority. But I'm scared that work like myself and other people are just going to start becoming muted and removed.
You know what? This is where, because I've had that thought process before, and the way to counteract that, at least from my point of view and the experience that I've had, is to have a lot of local support. At least in from a networking and political perspective, right? I mean, God forbid. Well, you already know this that I got censored to an extent, but what I did after that was relied basically on my local network. That if I ever wanted to get a message out, that I would do it through them, and I still do.
Okay, but I'm just afraid. Like if my channel gets, let's say I get to 10,000 subs and 15,000 over time, right?
Yeah.
I'm afraid that this guy's getting too big. Let's get rid of him, right? And then it's like, you put all this.
Okay, then you know what you do, Mike, is you don't. Okay, so don't make the same mistake that I did. The mistake I did was I basically consolidated. Not consolidated. Excuse me. I basically concentrated my my area of messaging onto one platform.
Yeah.
Which at the time was Facebook. Now, the advice I'm giving to you is don't do that. Spread out your channels of communication, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're, let's say, like popular on YouTube or Facebook or I don't know Instagram. Look at other alternative social media platforms as well, right? And so that way, if you get cut off from, say, YouTube, you have another medium to go to. There's all these other sites popping up, either Minds or Gab.ai and other social media platforms as well. So that way, God forbid if it ever happens at one point where they decided to shut you down on YouTube, you still have another medium to go to.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's my channel right now. How I have it, my YouTube channel, I have Trends in the Housing Market, then I have Mike in the Night. Yeah. But then my channel has opening a business from scratch, game store business, starting a home business from scratch, Living the Dream series, and my video game reviews. So I'm balancing the channel out so my tags are not always the same. So the tags on my channel would be, so I'd have people subscribe to me that like video games but don't care about politics, right?
Or don't care about the housing market or something like that. Yeah.
So this way, it's kind of a balance of subscribers, right? So it's not, and the tags, my tags on the video games or opening a business don't match the tags for housing. So my channel isn't flagged as or tagged as a specific algorithm because there's so many. Well, what's he talking about Super Mario Brothers for in this video, and then the next video is talking about Trump, then the next video is talking about UPS and FedEx, right?
Yeah, because one of the things I find interesting is that people who get flagged and taken down are basically talking about one specific topic, which I find rather interesting to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why I put up my video. People are like, why do you do video game reviews? Nobody watches them. I'm like, no, that's not the point. The point is the algorithm and the tags and the people that do watch it. Even those 70 views that I get on that video game review, guess what? Those 70 views are people that probably don't care about politics and don't care about housing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's quite an interesting strategy when you think about it, right?
I don't know. I'm guessing.
Because I've looked at people who have complained about the algorithms and who've complained about either videos being flagged or taken down or their channel taken down, and maybe it was because they leaned a certain way politically speaking, or they only talked about one, or they only had one topic with respect to the kind of videos that they made.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very, very interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I'm just kind of putting that out there. But yeah, okay. So what we'll do is we'll stay in touch on Monday. I'll go live around 4:40 p.m. my time.
So that would bring me at what, 7:30 or so?
7:40, yeah.
7:30, 7:40. So I won't. So I probably won't be able to go live for at least. If you're going to do that, then maybe at about an hour or so, because I'm still going to be in the polling station, right? It's after, once I'm done at the polling station, then I could go live.
Oh, perfect. Okay, then we can we get some info. Okay, so we'll keep in touch, and then we'll coordinate this. And tell me where I could find if CP24 or those guys are actually going to have it streaming on the internet for us to watch live here.
Basically, you could look them up online. Okay. See, the CBC won't have. Actually, I thought this was actually quite interesting. So the CBC won't have any live election coverage. It's going to be global, global news, CTV News, and CP24.
Yeah. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, so those are
Here we
three.
go. Watch live municipal 2018 live elections.
Yeah, so you got their global or CTV, or you got a bit of a mix there.
Yeah, I'm seeing it here. Yeah, so I'm gonna have this going live while we're looking at the polls and what's happening with the polls. I think it's kind of important that wow, it's cold. Wow, it's pretty cold there.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely.
It was like,
by the way,
it was 19 today.
Yeah, it was actually in some parts. I think in the GTA they got snow. Actually, it was just a couple of days ago. So well, actually quite interesting.
Well, I wore a T-shirt and it was 19 today.
Oh yeah, wow. I'm jealous of you, buddy. Oh, by the way, I will mention this to you. I'll probably make my way over to I guess my local candidate's his campaign office. There may be some mainstream media there, so I think it would be interesting at least to get some sort of I guess, obviously boots on the ground, but I mean some perspective as to what you see on TV, right? Like a view behind the cameras, and maybe if they'll allow, maybe I might even give them an interview too.
Okay, yeah, that's just do what just do, yeah. I think this would be a good idea. I think we could start reaching out and, because there's not too many right-leaning point of views that are out there, and they don't exist. Everything's all left, and then if
right, and let's put it this way: the ones that are trying to actually, at least continue on in politics over these next 4 years or so, they're really being attempted to be shut down, right? So, like I said, and like this, you'll see this local candidate campaign. His name's he's made a lot of news in the past. His name's Giorgio Mammoliti. So he's an Italian guy. He's been in the game for a while, and so sometimes he says some outlandish things, but he's basically speaking the truth, right? And not everybody will agree with him, and that's fine. But what's going to end up happening is, and this is a big prediction on my part, is that I think he's going to win, not by a big margin, but he'll win, right? And it's all about getting out the vote and making sure we talk to people, and you'll see the reactions on Twitter or on YouTube later on. Because he's made some interesting comments, and and so some people don't necessarily agree with everything he says, and that's fine. But what's going to be interesting is to watch how everybody else reacts, and I'm going to be there when when the cameras are there, and then when he's officially announced the winner.
That's good.
But
yeah,
yeah. I mean, like I said, I'll give you the boots on the ground view, and we'll talk to residents and volunteers and campaign people, and maybe even we might get to the candidate and even the media there too. So yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Good. That's good to know. Okay, Moby, I'm gonna go to sleep. I appreciate you. You got to go to sleep too, dude. What time is it there?
Actually, it's a little bit. It's almost 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I think you better go to bed.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, thanks for calling in so late. I appreciate that. And yeah, we'll keep in touch. And like I said, Monday we'll go over. We'll have you on and off while you're doing your thing, and I'll be covering the coverage here. Okay.
Yep, that's great. We'll do that.
Okay, thanks, brother.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks for taking the call.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, you too. Bye now.
Okay, guys, I'm going to bed. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone's support in making this show what it is. And guys, please don't forget to subscribe to Gemini King. He's got some pretty good videos out there. And he's going to make a video. This is his music. That's him singing. He's going to make me... He's going to make me an intro video for Mike in the Night, and he's going to make me an intro video or an intro song for Trends in the Housing Market. Gemini King, topic, 175 subs. Let's get him to 200, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think, and God bless everybody.